isn't it amazing that we're in a building that 150 years ago, this was reclaimed land? So when you look at some of the things we're going to hear about today and some of the innovation that the people in the room and in the other rooms around here waiting to pitch have invented and created, it's kind of mad to think that we should be floating in the Thames right now, and here we are in this beautiful building. I find that quite crazy. Yeah, definitely a round of applause for that, I think. But then also just taking you through a very brief history lesson, because I think there's definitely an element that says, you know, history is a great way of learning what the future is and what I think is the future you will create in this room. But, you know, 224 years ago, about 150 miles west of here, someone invented the steam locomotive and the first railway. And look at the impact that had on urbanization, global economies, and global transportation. About 100 years ago, someone in this city created penicillin, and look at the impact that had on modernizing health and wealth, and care, and saving about 200 million lives. And then 37 years ago, and I can remember that because it's when I was 10, 37 years ago, a British scientist at CERN was very instrumental in the creation of the World Wide Web. So when you look at the innovation and the creativity we've had in the UK, coming out of London and other parts of the UK over the last 200 years, I can't wait to see what comes out in the next 3 hours from you all in this very exciting pitch event. So with that, I want to invite my friend and colleague Manuel from JP Morgan to take us through the next stage of the process. Thank you.
Welcome to JP Morgan, to this wonderful building, which we lovingly call the Hut on the Thames. Now, let me continue a little bit with the analogy that Eric mentioned, right? This was a school of boys in 1880. Boys were sitting at desks here, and they would have never imagined satellites. They would have never imagined cryptocurrency. They would have never imagined all the things that we will hear about. Neither would they have imagined that a girl would sit next to them in the classroom getting better grades. So I guess we got quite far. Now, what's going to happen in the next 2 hours? So the next 2 hours are going to be quite grueling, right? We will see 48 companies that have been selected from thousands of companies pitch. Now, the rules are very simple. It's Dragon's Den over again, right? 2 minutes each. Not more, no less. What's at stake? $50,000. So I pitched my name in it as well, so I'm 49th candidate, right? On the other side of you will be judges. These are quite fine judges. They have started their own companies. They work for institutions that are prestigious, but they have taken apart businesses and really understand what makes things successful going forward. And before I hand it over to Sammy, I just want to say 2 things. An event like this doesn't happen by chance, right? So we heard from Eric that Deel has been in France, it has been in Berlin, and they will go next to Singapore, they will go to Tel Aviv, they will go to Dubai, they will go to New York. And why do they do all this? Now, Deel has been doing fantastically well. They have had a meteoric rise. But behind this meteoric rise, there's a lot of sleepless nights. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who started Deel who have been in your shoes just a few years ago. I mean, Sammy himself, you know, a few years ago was a founder. So I think that all of us, on some level, have been in your shoes, and we want to convey to you both what lies ahead, but also the fact that we understand your struggles. With that, I would like to invite Sammy on the stage.
Thank you, Manuel, and thank you, JP Morgan, for having us here, for the time that the teams have dedicated to making this possible, for your sponsorship, and for letting us use this iconic building. So, round of applause for JP Morgan, please. They've been an incredible partner for this event. My name is Sammy. I'm the general manager of Deel IT, which was founded through the acquisition of Hoffi, which I co-founded with Michael, who's sitting somewhere in the room. And Deel acquired the business around 2 years ago. And it's my pleasure to welcome you here to the pitch in London and tell you a bit about the event series. London is a special city for me. Not only did I live here for over 12 years until I recently moved to Dubai, but it's also where Michael and I started both of our businesses before I had the chance to join Deel. And today I'm going to do 4 things roughly. So the first is telling you a little bit about Deel, then a little bit about Deel Ventures, finally about the pitch event series, and then maybe a little bit of unsolicited advice for those of you pitching here today, having done that many a times. So Deel is your HR platform, and our mission as a business is to enable you to hire, manage, and empower people, hire talent all around the world. It doesn't matter where you are. And the way that we've been able to grow so quickly into 150 countries and see the growth that we saw is by investing in the infrastructure. So we have entities in 150 countries. We build our own payroll engines. Believe it or not, I actually run 3 warehouses where we ship devices to people to keep them running. And the reason we do that is because we believe that in order to have outstanding customer outcomes, we need to own that infrastructure that enables global work. And the numbers speak by themselves. So since 2019, the company has expanded to 150 countries. We're doing over $1.4 billion in ARR and have a valuation of over 17 billion. And despite this scale, the business internally still feels like a startup. I'm sure a lot of you have heard how Alex, our CEO, still answers to the smallest SMB customers that reached out on LinkedIn. And only yesterday, I got told off by him for not spending enough time building AI workflows myself, despite having hundreds of people that build them for me. The expectation is that everyone in the business, including leaders, are adopting new technologies and are building. We don't want managers to the company. And this startup mindset, now that we're at scale, is also the way that Philippe, our chief strategy officer, feels is he's very passionate about giving back to the community, which is why Deel Ventures was set up last year. So in just under a year of existence, Deel Venture has deployed over $12 million to over 20 startups. But, you know, the giving back to the community, you know, ethos that the founders have goes way, way back before Deel Ventures even existed. So anecdotally, Alex and Philippe invested in my seed round, like, you know, 6 years ago. And they've continued to do that both through their family office. And now that Deel has the scale that it has, we're able to give back to the community. But in true Deel fashion, 20 investments in a year wasn't fast enough. So hence the pitch series that has had a reception that is beyond our wildest expectations. We've had almost 4 times the number of applications that we expected. To give you some numbers, we've had 35,000 applications for around 300 startups pitching, around 80 that will get the 50K. And then all of those are invited to the final in a location to be confirmed where they have the opportunity to pitch for $1 million. And last, unsolicited advice. Without wanting to dilute the important competitive edge that founders have, the money that you're going to get, the 50K, is great. But it doesn't really matter too much if you don't win. For example, Michael and I have been rejected by YC twice, and we did okay. You know, we still sold the company 5 years later for 9 figures. So yeah, winning the money is great, but there's 2 things that you can get out of these events. One that you will get whether you try or not, it's exposure. And this event is live streamed. There's thousands of people watching it. You're also going to get access to all of the perks that we're making available to all of the applicants, whether they win, whether they don't win, whether they're invited to pitch or not. And then the second thing, this you have to put in a little bit of effort. But to me, having pitched probably 200-300 times, whether it was in a small room or on a stage, one of the most important things of these events, where I can derive the most value, is being on stage in front of hundreds of thousands of people forces you to craft your narrative. And in a world of AI, where most technology is going to be built by robots over the coming years, it is the companies that tell the most compelling stories that will win their customers' minds and hearts and eventually succeed. So even if you don't win, and not just for this event, any future pitches, invest in your narrative, invest in your storytelling, because that's really something that is going to take you very far. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Eric back, who's going to introduce the startups. And good luck, everyone. Looking forward to hearing the pitches.
So before we get started with the pitches, here are these judges that you just heard about, right? So I think to Manuel's point, we're very lucky to have created this group or collected this group together of industry leaders through VC investment, through finance, through operations, through sales, all the things and all the disciplines you would need to start, fund, accelerate, grow, and hopefully, if you choose to, eventually exit an organization. So you've got a real breadth of talent, a real breadth of experience here. And thank you to the judges. We're very pleased to have you here. And I'm sure it'll be a great opportunity for you to pitch your ideas and get their feedback. If we go to the next one, please. So if everyone would like to take their phones out and please scan this QR code, this will allow you to participate. As we know, it's 2026, right? Of course, we want the judges to have their say, but you also, as the audience, get to participate in upvoting the various pitches we see today and providing your support for the best things you see. So if everyone can download the app, upload the details, we'll be good to go. Are we all good with that? Okay, great. Let's crack on, as we say. So the next stage for this is then to welcome the first phase of the pitches. So this first phase we're looking at, this first cohort, is all focused on revenue and marketing activation. So really, as someone who's in sales for Deel, I fully understand the pressure and the expectation to grow super quickly. So for all of the organizations here, for the people you're trying to work with and sell to, helping them look at how do you use AI, how do you make sure you're relevant in AI search? How do you coach salespeople in real time? How do you take outcomes based on the meetings the sales team have been having? How do you track your spend without having to use cookies? These are all things that are, in a utopia world for me and my role, would be amazing to have. And I'm really excited to see in this first wave of pitches, the startups that will provide us with insights on how they're going to solve all those problems for us. So with that, I'd like to invite our first pitch to the stage.
Hi everyone, my name is Arnaud Weiss. I'm a repeat founder with 2 exits, and with my co-founder Arthur, also a repeat founder and a Y Combinator alumnus, we are building Sillage. It's an agentic platform for enterprise sales. Before Sillage, I was a VP marketing of a scale-up. I tried all the AI GTM tools, but it wasn't a fit for us. It was irrelevant because we were doing enterprise sales. When you sell to big companies, you cannot delegate a conversation to an AI. You need humans talking to humans, building a relationship and building trust. And this is why we started Sillage. We are building GTM agent for enterprise sales that fits the needs of enterprise sales. We automate everything except the conversations. So for instance, if you are targeting an account, our agents will do the account mapping, finding all the subsidiaries, the key stakeholders you need to contact, and they will also surface buying intent. Look, this VP of marketing just joined your target account. You need to contact them right now. So with Sillage, sales reps can focus on strategic thinking and building relationships. In 6 months, we signed more than 30 customers, including Salesforce, Full & Rich, Ubique, half in EMEA and half in the US. And we even have a running POC with Deel in APAC. The results for our customers have been amazing. Salesforce has measured a 61% increase in pipeline generation using Sillage, and they have more than 50 sales reps using it. So we have a product that is mature, with a demonstrated ROI. By the way, we just finalized our pre-seed round with Sequoia and Andersen Scout Funds, Drysdale, and Kima. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. I'm Liz Full. the founder of TAMI. Would you believe it or not, TAMI stands for Total Addressable Market Intel. It provides our clients their ideal customers. 431 AI companies shut down and lost their VCs over 70.5 billion. The number one reason for that, about 43% in their case, they couldn't find their ideal customer in time. Here's an example of Hodoku. They lost their VC 177 million. Flip over to TAMI. DPD used us to find our ideal customer, 3 million in revenue last year, 4x what they did with their previous provider. Why are we different? We're not your typical AI. We have 90 terabytes of proprietary data. We train our AI on our own data, which has been patented. We have 5 products in the market. We built these products with AI 90% cheaper than all of our competitors. We have a gross margin of 87%. We're making millions in revenue already. And you can see the range of products we have in the go-to-market stack. The real problem we're solving is every industry has its own TAM. They're not the same. So these are our clients, just an example of some of our biggest clients. 100% of all our top 10 clients renewed with 2 million combined lifetime value. We have 123% net revenue retention. In the payments industry, we're able to find everybody similar to taking payments or shipping, etc. TAMI is built as the AI go-to-market. We have our patent, we have our GDPR, we're on a path to profitability. We have 123% year-on-year growth. So if you like TAMI, you need it for your business, just get in touch. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marco, CEO and co-founder of Chrono. Yeah, Chrono is an agentic sales engine where sales teams and agents work together and drive revenues together. If we look at B2B sales, is one of the most competitive industries in the world, and yet its productivity problem has not been solved. If you're a company today, you're stuck between either spending over 70% of your time on non-selling activities, CRM updates, admin work, lead research, or using new AI tools and try to automate everything. But autonomous agents lose context. They make mistakes. They need constant supervision. So instead of solving the problem, they actually create more noise. In 2025, less than 30% of B2B companies hit their revenue targets. So this is why we built Chrono. Chrono is a new execution system where sales teams and agents collaborate together. It is built as an execution layer that orchestrates the entire sales process from outreach to pipeline. On top of it, there is an AI agent hub where multiple agents can be deployed to run and execute and handle repetitive work while staying aligned within the same context. Agents can be created, they can be shared, they can even be imported from external sources. The result is a simple collaborative workflow. Teams and agents working together, always fast, always in sync. We're growing fast. We're past 1 million of ARR. We're now raising 3 million to get to 10 million of ARR by the end of 2027. We're 3 co-founders with deep expertise in B2B sales and operations, and 1 technical co-founder with over 10 years building AI systems. We are Chrono, and we are building the agentic sales engines for the next generation of sales teams. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Here's what you don't know. A 5-minute call with a customer service agent cost the financial institutions $270 whereabout. Another $1 dispute chargeback that is charged to them cost them another $4.61. This cost is attributed by the endless humans in the loops, your music, the whole music, and at the same time, scripted scripts that is repeated by human agents over to you over and over again, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm Dan, co-founder of Litet AI, an ex-JP Deutsche, and at the same time, a repeated founder. Alongside with my co-founder, Chelsea, ex-Microsoft AI engineer, we are building autonomous agents that will fuel the navigation of the financial complex systems in dispute chargeback. Today, dispute chargeback takes about 55 to 60 business working days, which is what you're having experienced right now. We can narrow it down to under 2 minutes and under 24 hours for simple and complex cases. A $505 billion industry is broken in this financial services space, and we are here to solve it. Over the past 120 days that we first started, we onboarded and deployed into 2 financial institutions, and these paying clients have successfully negated operating costs down by 76% and increasing revenue by 82%. And we are just getting started. We are fundraising right now, and yeah, we are raising a $2.5 million round with 50% committed. We also have institutional investors on board with us right now, and we are building in the future of finance and AI native financial infrastructure, starting with dispute chargeback. Thank you.
There is a big shift happening right now. AI tools like Claude are quickly becoming the primary system where all work happens: coding, design, legal. But when it comes to advertising, a $1 trillion industry, there is a gap. Ask the same AI to manage your ads today, and it will confidently waste your budget. But not because models are bad. It's simply because AI doesn't know which ads truly drive incremental sales, how they will perform in the future, and where the next dollar will actually deliver the highest return. This is exactly where SegmentStream comes in. We've built an advanced marketing intelligence engine that now any AI agent can plug into to get reliable cross-channel measurement data and specialized expert skills. So now any marketer who wants to optimize ads in their AI can finally do so with full confidence in data and recommendations underneath. We already power over $100 million in ad spend for leading startups and enterprises. No more wasting hours reading reports, guessing what to do next, and jumping between platforms to make changes manually. Everything happens in one conversation, and not just analysis, action. We've proven it works, and now we believe every marketing team deserves this. So now we are looking for partners to scale. I'm Pavel, founder of SegmentStream, and SegmentStream gives AI a marketing measurement brain, so the next $1 trillion in advertising won't be wasted. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dan, co-founder and CEO of Topo. We are building AI agents for outbound sales, On the left, you can see what sales prospecting looked like 40 years ago. And on the right, here's what it looked like today. There are three problems in B2B outbound sales. First one, it's very complex and costly to build the infrastructure. Sales teams are using up to 6 tools to find the right people at the right moment and contact them with the right message. Second problem, sales reps are doing lists, searches, building sequences while doing cold calling and closing in the same time. And third problem, performance are very low. They just don't know how to do. That's why we'll be at Topo. We are doing three things. The infrastructure layer, an all-in-one platform designed to execute everything you need to do outbound today. Second, the execution layer. This platform has been designed to be natively agentic with agents finding signals, contacting leads, and so on alongside your rep. And third, a service layer, coach and consultants sitting with our customers to train them and to help them on how to do. That's outbound made simple. We launched 18 months ago. We went from 0 to 1.6 million in ARR, and our goal will be to reach 4 million by the end of the year. Before, I led sales at Airco from 10 to 100 million in ARR. That's where I met my co-founder that was leading outbound there. And my CTO and co-founder was head of engineering in a 10 million ARR startup. We are already backed by the best, and we'd love to have you with us. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Merve, CGO at Edin.ai, named as the fastest growing tech company by Deloitte recently. And we came here by fixing what is broken in marketing. Jamie Dimon says it's best.
We spend $10 billion a year in marketing, and we know it's going to work on marketing. I mean, marketing by its nature is very inefficient. Put the stuff on the wall and see what happens.
Couldn't agree with him more. Up to 500 billion advertising spend is wasted in a global advertising industry, which has a size of $1 trillion, because advertisers have lost their control over their data, budget, and performance to the agencies. But they are waking up. They are already moved their media operations in-house, but they lack the right infrastructure to manage it effectively. This is where we come into place. We are an AI operating system for marketing, one intelligent system replacing multiple tools and agencies. Advertisers can consolidate all their marketing data and manage entire media cycle from planning, buying, and optimization with AI insights with enterprise security. We are giving control back to the advertisers. Today, we are trusted by more than 45 brands, including L'Oreal, Under Armour, and Vodafone, managing 50 million in ad spend, significant ROI uplift. In just 3 years, our current ARR run rate is around 2.2 million. We are confident to double it by the end of this year and becoming EBITDA positive with ACVs around 150K. Our team uniquely combines deep tech experience with agency and marketing, and also on our advisory board, they are bringing the MarTech unicorn experience. We are currently fundraising and building the right AI operating system for AI native marketing, and we invite you to build with us. Thank you.
Hello, we are in the middle of AI revolution now. Every company in the world races to implement it, but the results are often not what we expect. Indeed, 88% of the modern workforce uses AI, but only 5% knows how to use it efficiently. And in the UK alone, 500,000 of civil servants need to be reskilled on AI this very year. So we are entering at the moment the biggest retraining event in the human history. But who has the answer on how to implement it? So we built it. I'm Alisa, founder of Immersive Fox. We built AI infrastructure for the largest retraining in human history. The way it works is quite simple. You upload to us any SOP, any document, pretty much any knowledge base you have, and our AI analyzes it and creates the set of short videos from it. It also creates conversational AI. Your team can ask questions 24/7. And not only that, it spots where are the missing gaps in your AI upskilling and understands if you indeed understood how to use it. To give you an example, a Fortune 500 came to us and they bought Microsoft Copilot, but the team truly didn't understand how to use it. So they gave us the SOPs, and what we produced them, a fully working system. What was the result of that? So the sales team started to produce index in 2 hours instead of 2 months. We are live since the launch with 5 Fortune 500 companies. We tripled our revenue across the last quarter, and we are on track to raise Series A. Our team is 21 humans, and 51% of the work is done by AI agents. We built our own proprietary AI, and even this very deck you see is built by our AI. Thank you.
Please join me in giving a round of applause to our first cohort of pitches. Again, as someone in the revenue and sales and marketing world, I think it's certainly a very exciting time, and the ability to scale faster, use better insights, have more control is certainly upon us. So really impressed to see those pitches. As we know, we're in London. We're in a prestigious building for one of the world's largest financial organizations. So we know that cybersecurity and AI governance is critically important in all industries, but none more than financial services and technology. And London is certainly a capital for that segment. So the next round of pitches we're going to welcome on the stage, we'll look at how do we protect customers and employees from deep fakes? How do we do autonomous testing of network attacks proactively so you can see your vulnerability before it's somebody else does? How do we provide surveillance on critical sites to make sure that everything is secure and there's no bad actors? So again, super important, super critical for people to scale in a secure and compliant way. So with that, please join me in welcoming the first of our cybersecurity and AI governance pitches.
Hi all, my name is Alex. I'm from Cyberly, human risk management platform for AI era. And let me start with some short statement that is quite important, that AI is changing cybersecurity landscape much more faster than companies actually can adapt. And we see that right now, it's much more less effort for attackers to create personalized, scalable attack on employees. And weakest part actually of each cybersecurity landscape in the organization is actually people. And we see that 90% of all cyber incidents start with human behavior. Also, AI-generated phishing is much more effective than traditional one. At the same time, deepfakes, this is something like new reality that we have in our world. And this is why we built Cyberly. So we are collecting and combine different signals like human behavior, organizational context, and security telemetry to say who is an organization most likely to be attacked and how to prevent it. And to prevent it, we offer adaptive controls, personalized remediation, and personalized phishing and deepfake simulations that are helping organizations to protect their employees from the newest AI-generated attacks. So for the last 12 months, we had a great journey. We got more than 100 new customers. Most of them are enterprises. We have full roll-up for Fortune 500 insurer. We are working with top 10 international hospital group, leading European fintech, and global industrial leader protecting more than 50K employees. Overall, we are protecting more than 200 organizations among our clients, and we have 30% annual run rate month over month. Yeah, if you would like to learn more, so we'll be happy to chat. So let's protect world together. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Babette, and today I would like to talk to you about a game. The game is called Go. It's a complicated Chinese game. I don't know if you know it, but 10 years ago, AlphaGo, a computer program, beat Lee Godol. He's an 18-time world champion at this game. And the interesting thing here isn't that a computer program beat a human at its game. The interesting thing here is how it happened, because the computer program, I don't know if you remember, didn't study human games to gain its knowledge. It actually studied itself. In fact, it played itself millions of times in an environment with measurable outcomes, very clear rules, and finite actions. Now, at some point, this computer program, AlphaGo, started creating moves in the game that no human had ever seen before. And it started creating data that didn't even exist before AlphaGo itself existed. Now, let's move this forward to 10 years, 2026, to cybersecurity and to my company. The battle here is already lost if you ask me whether an AI can beat a human in this field. The actual question we're dealing with here is whether your AI beats their AI. And to have an AI, you have to be able to train it. Again, in an environment with clear rules, finite actions, and measurable outcomes, a bit like with the CyberGo game, attacker versus defender. Now, you could say that in cybersecurity, all the preconditions for an AlphaGo style play of self-play are already fulfilled. And the only thing that's missing here is the playing board. So we decided to create it, and it's called Nemesis. Nemesis is a fully operational breach and attack simulation platform already running in production today, meaning paying customers, a network of committed MSSP partners. And today we're raising a 5 million seed round to scale this business into becoming Europe's training ground for cybersecurity, because we believe that in this era, companies that will survive won't be the ones with the best tools or best people, but with the best trained AI. Thank you.
During the gold rush, the most iconic, adaptable, and longest lasting companies were the companies that kept the miners safe, the banks that protected their wealth, and the denim makers that protected their skin. AI is the new gold rush, and Firetail is the company keeping you safe and secure. I'm Jeremy, co-founder and CEO of Firetail, a serial entrepreneur with multiple exits. AI is developing at an unprecedented pace, but we already see major global brands impacted by security concerns, breaches, and mistakes. Ultimately, this will slow you down while your competitors get ahead. We know that traditional approaches to cybersecurity won't work in the AI era, and that's why we built Firetail. Firetail enables secure AI adoption across the enterprise by providing all the tools that you need to succeed: visibility, security, and control. It starts with end-to-end visibility of everywhere that AI is running: employees, agents, and applications, seamlessly integrated to all of the most popular AI platforms on the planet. Next comes purpose-built AI security: inline policy enforcement, red teaming, risk scoring, and more. Finally, purpose-built control and governance and compliance monitoring aligned to all the top standards, including the EU AI Act. AI risks are growing exponentially. Despite this, every company will need to adopt AI and will need AI security, making this the largest cybersecurity category for the next decade to come or more. Firetail has built an AI-native cybersecurity platform to enable adoption today and in the future. We've been recognized everywhere from the finals of the Black Hat Startup Spotlight to winning a CISO pitch earlier at RSAC this year. But the thing I'm most proud of is the value that we unlock for our customers. We're allowing them to move forward securely. We provide them the visibility, security, and control required to stay ahead of pack and take full advantage during the AI gold rush. Thank you.
Every company is about to have 1,000 new digital employees. Coding agents are writing software. Chat agents are embedded into workflows. Autonomous agents are running ops. What Okta did for humans, Palmer is doing for agents. Now, my name is Patrick. I'm the CEO of Palmer AI. Last year, agents were stuck in developer land. Developers knew how to give them credentials, how to run them, and how to do that safely, and they had a lot of trust. Enter Model Context Protocol. Now, this is the standard that's now enabled everybody, every single employee in an organization, to add capabilities to the agent that are no longer just please write some text, but actually execute into a system. And that can be a CRM, it can be a database, it can be something extremely critical or uncritical. And so you can see very quickly, if everybody starts doing this, and non-technical people do this, in an organization, it's going to be very critical very quickly to understand exactly who's doing what capabilities does the agent have, how are we distributing this, and also how do we take it away in case something goes wrong. And we're seeing this wave come now. 80% of enterprises are already deploying agents. A lot of our customers do. MCP has hit 100 million weekly downloads, right? Just to put that into context, React does that in a month. Palmer is that layer that controls how agents via MCP interact with your core systems. Anybody, any consumer in the organization, technical, non-technical, can connect to Palmer, and through Palmer can connect their MCPs, and the central IT still has the full control of the organization and can see exactly what's happening. Every single tool call goes through Palmer, and all of this is completely agent enabled, because at scale, tens of thousands of employees are using this. There's going to be no other way. We sold our last company to Cisco, and we did Kubernetes governance in that, so this is right down our alley. We have a 10 million pipeline already committed, and we've raised.
Hi, everyone. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Ask Silver, where we're all about human-centered scam prevention. Millions of consumers, every single one of you, are getting messages like this every single day, week, month, year. Reports say about 20 messages or scams that we see every single week. That's 1,000 a year, tens of thousands across our lifetime. I know this because my dad was scammed a few years ago, and he lost almost £150,000. He only had 190, and that was most of his life savings, and I became his power of attorney through that process. Now, sorry to any VCs in the room, I don't have a background in cybersecurity, financial services, fraud, but I wanted to do something about it. So we're an AI-powered scam checker. And my co-founder and I, in 9 months of launching as a team of 2 and with under 150 grand, we sold into a high street bank with an MVP. With no marketing budget, we have been on the BBC about 7 times in the last 12 months. We've been on every single major kind of media outlet, and we've got hundreds of thousands of users now using us as a tiny team. And banks pay us to protect their customers, because my dad had his bank forced to refund him £120,000. So they've got a huge need to actually protect their customers. And if any of you don't think you're going to be scammed in your lifetime, I know a head of fraud at a bank who was scammed, several police officers. You're going to get scammed at some point. I will. So we need more tools to help us. Globally, it's a huge problem, and we just need to do something about it. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kumi Oludoi, CEO of Sorare Technologies, a company on a mission to help industrial companies protect what matters most, their assets. That's people, property, and profits. Industrial companies need to reduce the cost of labor-intensive processes, such as security and facilities management, whilst at the same time maintain a high standard of operation, efficiency, and site safety. An example is the security use case. And at the minimum, it costs 180 to 200K per year to hire 2 security guards per 12-hour shift. As the cost of labor continues to rise, this becomes much too costly for industrial companies. Sorare Technologies is bridging the gap for industrial companies, and we're doing so by enabling them to build their own autonomous security and site safety workforces. We're building the SorareNet pilot, drone automation platforms, an intelligent layer that sits on top of all integrated drones, cameras, and sensors, helping them to work together autonomously to fulfill your tasks and needs without human intervention. So you can speak to Pilot like you would a site manager. You would say, Pilot, are there any unknown vans near warehouse 19? Pilot will reply, deploy drones, and check through video and sensor feeds to find the information that you're looking for. Now, we're one of the first companies in the UK to be approved by the Civil Aviation Authority for remote aerial drone operations. And we're deployed on sites run by Tesco, Gobex Solar, and even the UK Home Office, to name a few. This year, we're going to be expanding our use cases from outdoor security to indoor security and inspections, and working with our distribution partners to reach more territories across Europe. Now, our team is small, but we are mighty. With just 2 people, we pulled off this insane traction over the past few months, but the journey doesn't stop there, because today we're raising a £2 million seed round to build an S-class team and expand our reach globally. Thank you very much for listening.
So please join me again in congratulating our fintech and payments pitches. I'm sure you'll join me in sleeping much more soundly this evening, knowing the security and the innovation happening in securing our AI future from a governance and security point of view. So now we're moving on to the next wave of pitches in a segment which I think of any city in the world, London probably has the right to claim is our founding place. So fintech and payments is clearly a massive industry within London and across the world, and lots of innovation has come out of London in the last 2 decades in this area. So really excited to see the pitches we get coming through in this next wave. You're going to hear about things like an AI CFO for small organizations as they're scaling to enable them to reduce costs and scale faster. We're going to hear about autonomous AI agents for opening transactions across African payment streams. We're going to hear about WhatsApp for conversational commerce. And we're going to hear about something I know our CFO would love to hear. Hi, Joe, if you're watching, using AI to be able to close the books automatically at the end of each month and each quarter. So again, critical work, very important. I'm really looking forward to these next wave of pitches. So I'd like to welcome the first of our FinTech and Payments pitches.
I'm Ajit Barik, and I'm a former Deutsche Bank trader with 15 years in financial services. But I often struggle to manage my own business finances. Now, imagine the plight of the 5.3 million UK small business owners, most of whom don't even have a background in finance. Accountants and accounting software tell them what has already happened in the past, but don't prepare the business for the future. Fractional CFOs are very expensive, and AI models on their own, they hallucinate, especially when it comes to numbers. As a result, most founders fly blind, and 82% of them fail. And this is the reason we have built Wiser's AI CFO. Wiser connects to a business's bank account, accounting software, and their spreadsheet data, and works like a real CFO. It provides proactive financial insights and step-by-step guidance. For example, one can ask it, hey, can I afford to hire next quarter? Or how much do I need to raise to meet my next milestone? And they get instant answers. It even tells them to chase their invoices urgently, or else they can't make their payroll next week. Wiser is not a black box AI. All numbers on Wiser are fully auditable and deterministic and explained in simple English. We already have 85 small businesses on board and working on a pilot with NatWest Bank. We are building the future of financial intelligence for small business ecosystem, for which we are raising £1 million. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Frederick. I've helped to scale 40 companies from a finance perspective, of which one was a unicorn. Woo. We actually thought, what are the best finance teams in the world doing? They're fast, they're accurate, and they have a lot of business context, a very smart team that helps them close the books. So we're building the AI native financial operating system. And basically the problem is that ERPs are dumb. Accounting is boring. It's a fucking mess. I'm sorry for my French. And there's a huge amount of market that's actually trying to solve this. And what if, only imagine, if we could bring that fast, accurate, and business savvy control framework to finance teams within 48 hours. And I'm not kidding, we are doing that. Eagle is the AI financial operating system, and we detect, we solve, and we correct errors within 48 hours. How do we do that? So we add onto the layer of ERPs. We have Exact in NetSuite. We X-ray your whole general ledger, every document, every transaction. We flag all the errors. You solve them, obviously, with human in the loop. And then we have a whole other module like accrual management, bank reconciliation, and everything that you need to close your books fast and accurate. We're 4 co-founders. We have perfect complementary backgrounds in go-to-market, product, and tech. Obviously, I'm the finance guy on the team. And we started last year in May, 1 year in. We're going to launch commercially in June. And we have 10 design partners that we're working with for a year now. We're so excited to have 8 contracts signed, and we're kicking off our round in Q3. See you in September. Thank you very much.
The hardest job in the world right now. I don't want to put the judges to sleep as I talk about taxes, but we'll give it a go. My name's Connor. I'm the co-founder of TaxApp. We launched the business out of frustration with our accountants, and I'm a serial founder with 1 exit under my belt. The problem we're trying to solve is that tax is boring, essentially. So there's 12 million people in the UK that are required to file their self-assessment. That's roughly 1 in 4 people. And there's a government initiative now called Making Tax Digital, which is making 3 million of these people file their quarterly updates and a final declaration at the end of the year. So basically 5 mini tax returns. So massively increasing the compliance levels for someone who's self-employed. We make it easy. So you just connect your bank account, we categorize your income and expenses, and then we help you file directly to the tax authorities. So no spreadsheets, no accountants, just compliance sorted. We have a proven track record, 130,000 users, 3 million in sales to date. We've raised 2.6 million from previous investors that have invested in Zilch. And we're not just B2C, we're selling directly into financial institutions as well. We're in late stage talks with 2 of the biggest banks in the UK to provide our product directly inside their infrastructure. And everyone's doing AI agents. We are too, but we have the data from our clients to make this much quicker, much affordable for accountancy practices. And we're ultimately replacing the typical work a junior accountant does. We're raising 2 million, 1 million already committed, and I'll leave you on the point, death and taxes, they're the 2 certainties in life. Thank you.
When Deel moves someone from Lagos to London, they can pay them. But the moment the person enters the bank, applies for credit, or even tries to get a lease, their financial record vanishes. No record, nothing. My name is David Adeleke, and I'm the CEO of Z Africa, and we're solving this problem. Over $80 billion is lost every year, right, to KYC, failed KYC, and also migrants denied credit, not because they are not creditworthy, but simply because their financial record simply does not just exist in the new country that they're going to. Z, using open banking and AI, we translate identity, credit history, financial behavioral data, right, from African and emerging markets into signals that global institutions can act on instantly. So think of us as Deel is to HR, we are to the financial identity of the world. And we are live. We are powering well over 165 businesses as we speak right now. We grew to 1.45 million ARR from the $600,000 we did the previous year. And we are backed by global institutions like Visa, Plug and Play, Sister, and others. Behind the team is myself and my co-founder, Diana, who is a 2-time founder, and she has scaled our previous startup to $1.3 billion in valuation, as well as Oyi, a SaaS veteran, and in our go-to-market strategy. We're currently raising a 2.5 million round, and with this, we aim to deepen our lenders' global network. We want to expand into the diaspora corridor and also the EU and the UK. The world is moving very fast, but financial infrastructures is not. We want you to join us in building the rails for financial identity. Thank you very much.
glad you chose that picture. It's my favorite one. Hi, I'm Dan. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Sunvin. That big number there is simply what we know you can recover from e-commerce that's lost. I don't need to go through the e-commerce numbers. I'm sure we all know them. We were promised 1,000 ways of different e-commerce expression, and all we got was checkout. E-commerce hasn't really actually changed since what? Apple Pay, maybe. It's all the same experiences. It's all hostile. It's not particularly fun. Why compete with Share with Wallet? Bring the entire checkout experience into the wallet. Sunvin basically allows you to go and do the actual financial experience things that we were promised with ChatGPT when they went and put Shopify inside of it. And then you could just buy toilet roll, which was class. Obviously, we're all doing that. When you go and do things in that manner, you can go and do fun and interesting things, such as, hey, go and book my lad's holiday. Don't do it unless it's under $1,000, and we'll just sit and watch that. The reason that ChatGPT can't do that is identity. There's all sorts of agent identity, sure, but they don't have KYC identity. That's the real unlock, and that is what we've solved. We do this and we distribute it through 2 ways. We have a B2C app. Visa's the launch partner for that. I think you can find us name number 4 alongside AWS, and I think it was Walmart in that lineup. And through an open infrastructure platform, we are B2B SaaS. As a CTO, I was born to make B2B SaaS, quite frankly. It's a strong lineup. I've done 2 exits. Simon's done a very large one extremely recently. Comes from payments that you wouldn't unbelieve. We're raising 20 million. Most of it's allocated. We've already done 1.5. We launch in 5 weeks, which is why I'm extremely stressed. That's that.
Hello, I'm Mick Higgins, CEO and co-founder of Payemoji. The problem with card not present payments, these are payments that are not made in person, is not processing, it's actually completion. Customers drop, nobody wants to download another app. Payments fail, mostly through lack of follow-up, and fraud. Card not present fraud actually represents 90% of all card payment fraud, 1 billion alone in the UK. This is costing businesses revenue, it's crippling them with chargebacks, and it's damaging with customer trust. The solution, AI payments. Payemoji turned payments into conversations. We allow customers to securely make a payment, accept a refund, engage and transact in a business. Fully secure and PCI compliant. And we're doing it for Domino's, Pizza Hut, Zurich, just to name a few. To scale our business, we partnered with the largest payment providers in the world. Fiserv, Global Payments, Clover, regional players like AIB, BOIAP. And we're scaling our business. We grew 60% Q on Q, and we'll do 5x this year. The market opportunity is massive. Hundreds of millions of consumers every day engage with a business in a conversation. AI has transformed how they transact and engage. Payments is the next layer of this. We're Payemoji. We're founded by 3 founders who are friends, still friends, and have multiple exits. We're currently raising 1 million, and we turn payments into conversations. Thank you.
I built a company for the wealthy, and now I'm building for everyone else.
7 years at Goldman Sachs, I then helped scale a financial advice company to $500 million in assets under management for the mass affluent. I then built again hundreds of millions of dollars for high net worth individuals. That's who the financial advice industry serves. The other 95%, we get a budgeting app. So today I'm building Bonsai, the same personalized financial advice the rich pay thousands for less than the price of a Netflix subscription. Meet Sarah. She's 29, lives in Brooklyn, and desperately wants to buy a house. But like many of us, she has no idea how to get there. So she asked Lily, Bonsai's AI financial advisor, can she afford this in 5 years? Lily looks at her income, her expenses, her assets, and comes back to her with a plan. The goal, save 75 in 5 years. Saving £200 a month, automated transfers, roundups. Investing 1,000 a month, tax optimized, risk adjusted, diversified. And then importantly, execute. Because in 5 years, Sarah's ready, but so is Lily, connecting her to the mortgages, the insurance, and every single step. We have 4 revenue streams. So every time a user earns, Bonsai earns too. All of this is facilitated directly in the Bonsai app. So why does Bonsai work? We're a complete ecosystem, intelligent, interconnected, and tailored. Every user makes our AI smarter, more personalized. They create the flywheel and the data moat. And we have a triple revenue stack, subscriptions, assets, and affiliate fees. The greatest wealth transfer in human history is happening right now. $124 trillion is moving to a generation that nobody has built for, but we are building for them.
Again, please join me in congratulating our last round of pitches there. So this next round of pitches is quite close and dear to my heart. I think some people in the last round made some comment about accountants being boring. I mean, if my wife is watching at home, it wasn't me that said that, darling. This next part around legal compliance and immigration. My wife's an accountant. My sister-in-law's a lawyer. Our family get-togethers are a lot more fun than that probably makes it sound. But actually, my father was born in Kenya to Danish parents and emigrated to the UK in the late 1950s. So these topics are actually all quite close to my heart and have shaped my family as it is today, but also the work and employment of my family as stands. So when I look at this block, we're looking at things around how do we automate ESG and CRC credits? How do we look at automating tax filing for R&D? How do we look at automating the process for money transfer and cross jurisdictions payments and things like that? So these are all the things that are highly regulated, highly important. Immigration requires lots of legal expertise. They are burdensome to small organizations as they scale. So I'm really excited to see this next series of pitches and how these startups can help reduce this burden and speed up the commerce of business and get us all paid compliantly and moving around as we need to. So please join me in welcoming the next wave of pitches.
The enterprise software point solution era is over. The intelligence infrastructure and the agentic era needs intelligence infrastructure. We counted over 11 different tools in use by a single company just to produce their annual report. Over 80% of the team's time is spent on data collection. And 40% of the board decisions are made on data no one can trace. And the compliance penalties in millions. That's the data chaos inside most enterprises today.
So that's why we built Sustain GRC, the governance and sustainability intelligence architecture. 30 plus agentic modules, one data model. This is the enterprise solution that everyone's been waiting for.
Governance and sustainability share the same data challenges. We orchestrate them. We work with a Gulf bank, capture their portfolio climate risk once, and it flows seamlessly into their enterprise risk register, their sustainability disclosures, and board narrative with predictive analytics on top. So a true native agentic workflow with audit-ready data lineage. We are a team of practitioners with over 100 years of relevant experience. I lived this data chaos inside Big Four, validated the same for over 5 years across a PhD and a product R&D.
B2B, SaaS, global pipeline of 500, a total addressable market of 30 billion just in EMEA alone, generating 500,000 in net new pipeline every month, and on track to do 3 million in
Hi, I'm Juan, the founder of Caribou. Going global is no longer the exception. I spent a decade building finance tools for multi-entity companies, and from within their finance stacks, watched them pay 5-6 figures for transfer pricing that still leaves gaps. Traditional firms sell selective coverage. They can't solve this problem because the billable hours model is the problem. But companies with more than one entity, like our customers here, have to comply with transfer pricing every year, and it gets expensive as you scale. We're building the autonomous tax firm, starting with transfer pricing, the fastest growing and most complex service. Encoding that means that we can add additional tax services onto the same integrations. We've already turned an 8-week engagement into 3 hours using our own methodologies and fees and taxes in the process. We're currently at 1 million ARR with excellent revenue retention, and our growth is organic. A flywheel of customers sharing their accountants who integrate with us, who share more accountants. We're over 200 and counting, and it's a channel that our competitors simply can't run. On the data side, we also have a moat, 150 engagements with detailed decisions, 90 countries with tax treaties and all the legislation encoded into our protocol engine. It's just not something you can one-shot. So here's the end game. We realized in building Caribou that you need a lot of information to do transfer pricing. We call our context graph the Atlas. But we realized that with that same Atlas, we can add additional tax services. We're doing that with R&D, withholding taxes, because that's the main problems our CFOs face. All this from a team of 9. My CTO was early at Chewy. James tried to build Caribou KPMG, but wasn't allowed. I'm Juan, the founder of Caribou, the first autonomous tax firm. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maria, founder of TaxNova, and we automate R&D tax credits with AI. In 3 months, we've grown 4x, reaching 100K ARR, entered US market, signed an enterprise customer, and got companies like Monzo and Deel in our pipeline. Why? UK, US, and other countries channel $200 billion to fund innovation. But at what cost? Engineers then have to shed blood, sweat, and tears trying to reconstruct work they did years ago to prove they're eligible. Our solution is to tap into companies' data like Jira and GitHub and produce a claim the CFOs can trust. Think Vanta for R&D tax. Taxnova does in days what used to take months. 80% less effort, 15% more credit fund. We've lived this pain firsthand. I went from physics research to running AI pilots at French Google. My co-founder, George, led B2B product at Get and spent 7 months on trying to get that claim done. We're backed by A16Z Speedrun and operators like Head of Tax of Revolut and CEO of Incident.io, our client. R&D tax is supposed to incentivize innovation. The irony, the industry itself hasn't seen any innovation for the past 20 years. We are changing that by building one platform for every innovation incentive in any country a company may operate in. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael from Immigram, where we build an infrastructure layer for, sorry, and I'm extremely scared, so apologies. Yeah, so we're building an infrastructure layer for corporate immigration and relocation. The fun fact about this world is that countries that build the most fences around them and complicate immigration processes are in dire need for immigrant talent. So the talent is here, the demand is there. What's the problem? Broken system. So we solve that with a few platforms. So the first one is individual relocation platform, where we collect data, automate document processing, and basically build applications. The second one is team or corporate relocation platform, where we do the same thing, but B2B. That's basically it. We are a small team with me and my co-founder, Forbes 30 under 30. We have a great advisory board who are our clients and immigrants as well. The reason we have these platforms is, first of all, to make money on visas, but second of all, is to collect data. What most AI wrappers on immigration sector gets wrong is that the question is not the software, the question is data. If your AI can read a document published on the governmental website, which is 5-year-old and updated 1 year ago, it doesn't, like, if you don't have a steady flow of applications, you basically don't have the application system. You cannot do an applications because you don't have the feedback from immigration agencies. So we did 20,000 documents for 130 clients. We have a lot more in the pipeline, $11,000 LTV. We are profitable, we are growing, we are ready to take on $150 billion market.
Hello, guys. I'm Gleb from VisaBot, and we are trying to make visa applications easy. We're doing it by a relatively small team. It's me down there. I'm the founder. I'm an engineer. I was in the founding Bumble team, data science team. We also have Stas. He is the deals and strategy consultant in McKinsey & Company and was in strategy. And we also have a couple of software engineers and support managers. And with this small team, we're trying to solve the problem of getting a visa. The process is quite clumpy, as you probably have encountered it before. You have to do your own research to figure out like what documents you need. You need to find a slot. You need to get your documents satisfying the requirements. And even after all of that, you still have an opportunity not to get accepted, right? You have an opportunity to get rejected. And we think that we can solve this problem. We can make it better for everyone because, yeah, the issue is being annoying for not just the applicants, but also the visa officers who are spending their time on it. Yeah, and we are building the platform, which is helping travelers end-to-end getting their visas. We started by solving the small part of the problem, which is visa bookings. And now half of the agents that are processing visas are using VisaBot. You probably have heard of it. And now we decided that we are good positioned to get our platform to the next level, which is end-to-end visa processing. And this was all initially a side project of ours, so we never had any investment. We have 65,000 users, and we made $2 million last year. Thank you.
So it's now become a customary. Please join me in congratulating our last round of pitches. Just to reiterate, my last point with an accounting wife, a lawyer, sister-in-law, anything that makes those processes more frictionless, more automated, and more AI generated, as we just heard, I think will be very welcome at my family Christmas table. So thank you for making it this far with us. We now have a coffee break where you can see some of our sponsors downstairs as well. So I want to thank the likes of Deel, A16Z, Ribbit, AWS, Airwallex, Full Enrich, there's a whole list of them down there. So please go and join them for a coffee. If we can be back in here at 4:10, and I really look forward to seeing those orderly queues in the typical UK fashion for the coffee machines. Thank you. So see you back here in 15-ish minutes. Thank you. So we're going to get back into the swing of the pitches. This next category is health tech and sports tech. I'm going to tell you a very quick kind of like sob story followed by a humble brag, which hopefully in about 30 seconds will make sense. So I was involved in the military when I was younger, and due to a heart problem they found out before going to Sandhurst, I now do this for a living rather than be in the military. 20 years later, I did an Ironman with a bad heart because of the technology that I can wear that gave me confidence to know that my heart was okay. So when I say health tech and sports tech is close to my heart, I kind of really mean it. So this next wave of pictures are going to talk about how we can diagnose, how we can provide tailored care, tailored diagnostics, videos, sports, and coaching algorithms to really help maximize people's well-being and health. So as I say, very important topic, something very close to my heart. I'm really looking forward to this next wave of pictures. So please join me in welcoming our health tech and sports tech pictures.
Hi, everyone. My name is Guillermo Pepe. I'm the founder of Boulder. 70% of clinical decisions depend on a prior medical image. Imaging diagnosis is a bottleneck of the entire healthcare system. Everyone built AI to read the scan, but nobody built the infrastructure underneath. And the problem is because there are 3.6 billion images per year, a growing demand, a shrinking workforce, and a fragmented stack, systems that don't talk to each other. Boulder is the AI integration and orchestration layer for imaging diagnosis. Stripe did it for payments, Plate did it for banking, Boulder for imaging. We get integrated with any PACS at medical institutions, and we connect them to teleradiology networks. We don't compete with AI diagnosis solutions. We make all of it work. And three things compound every time an image goes through Boulder: proprietary workflow data, deep integration. Once we get in, we never leave, and a compounding network. We have a $3.1 million ARR, growing 194% year on year. We have a 0% churn across 119 institutions in Spain, Mexico, and Argentina. We raised from Merck, Philips, Johnson & Johnson, and Hub 71. And we are part of the NVIDIA Inception program. Every imaging AI company built in the next decade will need an infrastructure layer to reach institutions at a scale. We are the ones building it. Thank you very much.
Healthcare doesn't have a medicine problem. It has a timing problem. Right patient, right care, wrong moment. And that's where everything falls apart. The NHS missed appointments of 1.6 billion per year. In the US, $180 billion are lost in no-shows, and over $1 trillion is spent on care coordination. Not treatment, not outcome, just logistics. We analyzed 224 million appointments with Mayo Clinic, and 1 out of 5 appointments were lost before care even began. Systems are not short of capacity, they're leaking it. So we rebuilt the system around human behavior. We meet patients where they already are, on WhatsApp, SMS, and RCS with our medical receptionist, Asa. She can predict no-shows. She can fill empty slots in real time. We can provide transport. We can provide payment integration, as well as offer any information or questions that the patient might have. We've already proven this. We're already in the NHS. We've seen 160% increase in bookings, 30% decrease in no-shows, and over 8 hours back per week per clinical admin. In the US, across 70 clinics, we've seen a 28% reduction in no-shows, 30% increase in bookings, 42% reduction in clinical admin time, and over 15% in revenue recovered. We're part of the Mayo Clinic Accelerate program. We're also members of the Google Growth Academy, and we're currently the Irish holders of the Irish Top Enterprise Award, as well as being the HIMSS Pitchfest champions. Healthcares have worked for years to manage demand. We make demand work. We're founded in Ireland, proven in the NHS, scaling in the US. We're fixing the timing, unlocking capacity, and opening care. I'm Neil, this is Sprite, we're the future of healthcare.
Judges, what's the difference between your heart and your brain? If you have a problem with your heart, it's assessed immediately and extensively. If you have a problem with your brain, we ask you questions and you fill in questionnaires. What's the outcome? This is Bobby. He's 8 years old. He'll be 16 when he gets his ADHD diagnosis. And it's not just Bobby. 9 out of 10 people will experience mental health issues in their lifetime. 9 out of 10 people. If we just take the 30 most common conditions and we assessed one person for all of them, it would take 300 hours. Through the NHS, they would be on 100 years of wait lists. And if they could afford to do it privately, it would cost £75,000. There has to be something better, right? That's where we created the NeuroScan. 1 scan, 5 minutes, 30 conditions and behaviors, £299. So £299 for all of the top 30 conditions and behaviors in 5 minutes. This is not theoretical. This is based on work from our clinics over 20 years, measuring thousands of brains. We've done this with Premier League teams, the NHS, and the RAF. So now we're bringing it to the public. We've got over 9,000 people on our wait list. We've had 1,000% growth year on year. We'll deliver 4.5 million in this year. And the best bit for the investors, our last 2 ventures delivered 2.6 billion in returns. So we're not building a brain scan. We're building the future of mental health and psychological performance. And if you can scan this, you get a free scan. Look at all the phones, judges. Look at all the phones. Thank you.
Knowing that someone's watching you play helps you find that extra 1% in the fuel tank. My father passed away when I was 4. Although football was a big part of my life, I never really had someone come watch me play. When I was 9, my uncle recorded me scoring a goal, uploaded it to YouTube, and now I can hear my mom and grandma cheering me on for the rest of my life. I want to become everyone's uncle. Not literally, but I want to make sure that every goal, shot, smash, pass, and alley-oop is recorded, shared, analyzed, and celebrated. Pro Tools are expensive. 80% of the games are missing and operations are fragmented. That's because sports organizations know how to play and perform, but in order for them to access the same technologies used by the professionals, significant financial and operational burdens impose themselves. Playback is a solutions aggregator that is making premium sports software and equipment more accessible. Through our exclusive partnerships with top elite providers, we're able to offer $10,000 systems completely for free for organizations and allow the players to access the same technologies used by their idols for as cheap as $0.4 per player. We do that through our performance-based business models, such as subscriptions, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and payment gateway fees. We've already partnered with the likes of Manchester City, the Junior Premier League, and various sports organizations covering all sports in over 10 countries. This allows us to power over 40 million players every single year and 8 million in social media reach. We've already been named the UK's Global Startup of the Year and have been recognized by the likes of World Football Summit, Great British Entrepreneur Awards, and Web Summit. My name is Karim Fawaz. I'm the founder and CEO of Playback, and I'm leading the software and business development based on my work with Google, Uber, and Amazon. Whilst my co-founder Abbas Kazmi is a multi-award-winning entrepreneur and VC, and he leads the governance as we grow internationally. Sports is a $1 trillion industry, currently offline. Playback is changing that. We're bootstrapped, working towards a $28 million pipeline and growing. We're looking for partners. You play, we back. Now let's make it happen. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Professor Erica Brodnock, the CEO and co-founder at KinHub, a B2B and patent-pending B2B SaaS performance and productivity coaching platform, looking at employees and supporting them. So aside from holding a PhD in behavioral science, this isn't my first startup. I scaled my previous company to over 8 million users. Helen holds a PhD in computer science from Cambridge, and Piyush is working on his third patent with 10 years in growing and scaling startups. Together, we're on a mission to change the lives of millions of employees while capturing a multi-trillion-pound market. So this is me back in 2008. I'd returned to work after the birth of my 5th child. My manager had promised my role to my maternity leave cover, and she was making my life a living hell. My mental health was at rock bottom, so I had to leave, creating a hardship for me and an expense, an avoidable expense for my employer. The harsh reality is that I'm not alone. Life and its micro journeys are tough. The managerial skills gap is widening as employee needs evolve, and employers are losing their best talent. That productivity drain is costing the UK £1.8 trillion a year, and it's our Chancellor's #1 concern, which is why she keeps having me over to breakfast. And that's where KinHub comes in. We deliver AI-augmented coaching, just-in-time manager enablement tool, and early warning signs to HR before they could become expensive problems. We've built a proprietary local language model on over 1.2 million data points with data privacy and sovereignty at its heart. And we're not just stopping at software. The detection, KinRing, and KinPin create environments in which enable employees to thrive, and it works. We're growing over 200% year on year.
A very, very good afternoon to you. My name is Dr. Zia Taib, and I'm here today to present our company, Minings, based in Manchester. It all started for me after my mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a devastating brain disease. And regrettably, she didn't receive proper treatment. She couldn't find any digital solutions to help her monitor disease progression. And unfortunately, today, she's fully disabled and unable to walk anymore. What does not kill you makes you stronger. So I decided to start a PhD in neuroscience in the big hope that I would help my mum regain mobility or at least better manage her disease. A few years later, I couldn't have felt prouder that my mum is using our technology. A happy mum and a happy patient. We've built what we like to call the new Apple Watch for brain health. The world's first portable, multimodal, non-invasive brain-computer interface that continuously measures your brain and body functions and then delivers personalized neurotraining and rehabilitation programs to track and improve brain health anytime, anywhere. Today, the platform is live on iOS and Android. We've got, in less than a month, more than 150 active users, and some of the best hospitals are using it, including Mayo Clinic, Stanford Medicine, Cambridge, NYU, and much more. We've raised about 4 million. We're on our way to raising another 8 million. We've got various US patents, and breakthrough publications on our technology. In terms of the team, I hold a PhD in neurotechnology, became one of the youngest neuroscience professors in the country at the age of 28. My co-founder sits over there. She's got 2 master's degrees, and we've got directors from Roche and Sanofi. Raising £5 million, about $7 million US dollars to take this to the next level, complete the clinical trial, commercially scale the technology, and expand into other markets such as defense. This is the end of the
I'm from Weightless. Weightless is building the AI layer that sits between your biology and the decisions you make on a daily basis to improve your health. We're starting with the metabolic and obesity market, and then we're going to move into other clinical verticals. Obesity is the largest preventable health crisis globally. It is also the #1 change driver of health span and longevity. And alongside the groundbreaking GLP-1 drug class, heralded as a game changer, we're creating an AI ecosystem that delivers personalized recommendations across nutrition, exercise, and lifestyle and behavior. How are we doing this? We're building a real-time optimization engine powered by your biology. We're connecting hardware such as smartwatches, smart scales, blood tests to an AI model that delivers a personalized recommendations to you, that we call bioprompts. We're targeting the GLP market because it's high intent user base, and the feedback that we get from, compounds over time. So we've got great traction. We've had 900K in year 1 revenue, 11,000 customers that we're going to use as our patient database. It's a $150 billion global obesity market that we're going to start with and then move into other verticals. We've got a B2C subscription model and a B2B SaaS model for insurers and hospitals. We're building the infrastructure for personalized health. Thank you.
So again, please join me in congratulating our last round of pitches. So I feel like, AI surveillance is a thing, right? So I think whoever has come up with this next round has clearly been looking at me on my phone, trying to find one of the 50 apps I need to try and manage my life, right? So I'm really looking forward to this next round of pitches to how you're going to simplify not just my life, but hopefully all of ours, looking at how we're booking travel, where do we park our car, how do we organize house moves, how do we look at the flow of secondhand clothing being sort of transported through the economy. So I really feel like this is one that, again, I'm very interested to hear. I'm hoping my wife and my daughter is also listening to this part. So I think it could really optimize the Jorgensen household for sure. So again, please join me in welcoming the Travel, Mobility and Consumer Marketplace pitches.
My name's Owen Short. I'm the CEO and founder of Park. Your car does 2 things. It drives somewhere and it parks somewhere. Park is building the AI infrastructure that handles the parking part. Each year, humans park their cars over 1 trillion times a year, and all of you in here hate it. You have to get a new app, you have to find out which parking app it is, how much to pay, where to pay, and if you're going to break the rules or not. AI cars can drive themselves, but they can't finish the last 10% of the journey, which is paying for their parking. Each day, that means that 1.4 million people in the UK get that wrong. That's every other second someone's getting a parking fine. So one of you in here has one today. You scale that globally, that's 600 people a second get a parking fine. Now, this isn't the problem. This is the signal that there's a problem with our manual infrastructure of parking. This is where Park AI comes in. With Park, all you have to do is get out your car where you've parked it, walk away. Our AI will detect where you are. It will pay for your parking. It will continue to pay for it and cancel it when you get back, which means you'll never get one of these little in my hand. What that means for AI cars, it also means that we can turn every vehicle, not even just AI cars, every vehicle on the road into a subscription model. We work directly with OMEs and fleet management software. Where are we today? We launched last month, even though I've poured 2 years of my life into this to make it work. We got 1,350 users in our first week, which is 107K pipeline ARR. We have 4.8 million followers, views now on our social media platform this month. We're going into proof of concept with our first B2B for £14.7 million this year. We've secured our IP in the UK and US, which means it's difficult for people to follow us. We have an unbelievable team, but the most important part is there's 1 trillion parking events that happen each year. That's the start of 1 trillion adventures that humans have, which I believe that parking should not be part of your adventures. You focus on that, we'll focus on your parking. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacob, CEO and co-founder of Stasher, and we are building the global network powering short-term storage. But what does that mean? Every day, millions of travelers need somewhere to store their bags. And at the same time, they're walking past hotel lobbies, shops, and lockers that have space just lying empty. So at Stasher, we combine both of these problems in our global luggage storage marketplace. How did we end up doing this? My co-founder, Anthony, used to be an Airbnb host. So when guests would check out, they'd say, hey, man, can we leave our stuff with you until our flight later? One time, I was crashing at his, and I asked if I could also leave my bag, and he jokes that he's going to have to charge me for the privilege. But that joke was our light bulb moment because we realized that demand for storage in cities is a genuine problem. Nothing out there that was any good that was solving it. And so we built the first app, started signing up shops and hotels, and it's grown a lot since then. In fact, in 2025, we booked over £6 million in revenue, up 73% year on year. We now have over 10,000 storage locations live on Stasher in over 1,000 towns and cities, 75 countries, and 99.9% host retention. Partners like Premier Inn alone booked over 700,000 in storage with us last year, with over 1 million in the pipeline for this year. And what's powerful is just how scalable this is, because combining our data, leveraging AI, we know how to grow the supply side of this business and turn almost any locker, shop, or hotel into a stash point. And we provide the payment, marketing, customer support, insurance, everything else that makes it work. Luggage storage is an 8 billion category that still runs largely offline. We're the only player providing global scale and enterprise reach to solve this. So now we're raising £2 million to accelerate both sides of our business, get to profitability, and build the platform powering how the world stores on the move. Every day, when travelers are asking themselves, where can I stash this bag? Stasher is building the answer. Thank you very much.
Hi. If you live in a big city, whether that's London, New York, or Paris, you're paying a fortune for a small flat you live. Yet you're running out of space for things you own, but don't use. The only solution, self-storage. You pack it yourself, you move it yourself, you drive back every time you need something. It's expensive, it's painful, and nobody really fixed this. This is why we built Stacked, an AI-native alternative to self-storage. You take your phone, you give us the list of items you want to store, and you book a collection. We come and collect everything. We come and collect everything from your doorstep and store it for them. And if you need anything back, a few taps and the specific item is right back at your doorstep whenever you want it. We rent or we own no warehouses, and we use or employ no drivers. Instead, we use rented warehouses and self-employed movers and an AI engine, which prices every job, manages every square foot, and optimizes every route. And it's working. Over the past year alone, we've grown from 1 million to 3.2 million in a matter of 6 months. This year, we are on track to get to 10 million ARR run rate by September. We have an incredibly strong unit economics, which stands at 5.4 LTV CAC ratio due to very strong and sticky revenue. And because AI runs the entire operation, we are half the price of self-storage for the customer while running at 60% gross margin. We have an incredible team across marketing, sales, and tech, and 50 billion pounds industry that we're tackling. We've proved that the model works in London. We are already launching our first international market in Dubai in a matter of the next 3 weeks, and we've just closed our Series A with a small allocation remaining. Self-storage is the last consumer industry that makes you do the work yourself. We fixed this, and our numbers prove it. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley, and I'm the founder and CEO of Soar. And a bit about myself before we get started. I've been pretty much living out of a carry-on suitcase for my entire life. I've been to over 75 countries, and at 17 years old, I moved to China and built the first American engineering team at DJI, which is now the largest drone company in the world. And I've also had experience scaling YC consumer app companies from C to Series B, and most recently dropped out of my master's program at Cornell Tech to build Soar full-time. And for the last 20 years, the travel industry has been largely the same experience for most consumers. If you look at Expedia and sites like Booking.com, they've been a search engine, and a list of results. The people that have a great travel experience are really just gatekept to the 1% that can afford them. What a really good travel agent does for you, if you have one, is helping you when shit hits the fan, which if you've traveled often, you know what that's like. Everything from flights cancellations to visa issues, and likewise understands you really well, the same way that the relationship grows over many years. I've developed an email infrastructure for travel specifically that understands exactly how you travel within the first 60 seconds of onboarding to offer that same exact experience you get from a really good travel advisor. And with that experience, not only can we offer bookings like they're coming from a trusted advisor, but we can also see everything you're booking as well. So if you're not booking with us and you book with Expedia, for example, we will go and automatically reimburse that and save you money if that price drops. And likewise, if your flight cancels, you don't need to tell us. We'll automatically go and contact the airline for you to make that reservation fixed. The journey of the travel industry has been largely the same, and maybe just skip to the point. Backed by the former CEO of Expedia, AllTrails, and a lot of great people that have built the modern industry, raising our pre-seed. I'm in London for like 24 hours if you want to find me before back to San Francisco. Thank you, everyone.
A fashion brand hired me to sell their unsold inventory on resale marketplaces such as eBay or Vinted. But after weeks of doing this, manually listing every item, I realized there was no good solution to do this. That's why we built Ollie, to help brands sell not new inventory and generate revenue. The resale market is a $350 billion opportunity. However, the infrastructure to scale it doesn't exist. On one side, you have brands and retailers that have piles of unsold inventory, and also they really struggle to manage it and cannot destroy it, which is what they used to do in previous years. And on the other side, you have marketplaces that are competing for the supply and also losing revenue because the inventory is not well managed and sales are canceled. So Ollie solves both sides of the equation. It autonomously distributes inventory on the correct sales channel at the correct price in order to maximize sell-through. Ollie has been built precisely for resale, which means features such as real-time inventory syncing, automated price drops, and automated price offerings. I bootstrapped this for the last 2 years from a no-code solution with a Google Sheet dashboard into a product that's generating over 6 figures in revenue, and hired my first employee in November. We're also growing organically, partly through SEO and partly because we have partnerships with top marketplaces like Vester Collective or Grailed that recommend us proactively to their sellers, to their brands and the retailers. Just last quarter, we generated 2 million in GMV for them, which is why they recommend us. In addition to this, I've been working in this industry for 6 years, and the more products we produce, the better Ollie gets. And that's why we win. Thank you so much.
So thank you. Some other great pictures there again. Definitely looking forward to decluttering my life and being a lot more optimized and automated for sure. This next category is it's a bit different to the ones I think actually. This is looking very much at deep tech and AI infrastructure. So these companies or the pictures we're going to see now are much more foundational technology companies building things that other things will be built on or rely on in the future. So things around how we optimize energy, optimize traffic through telecoms networks to improve energy usage, or how we look at 3D rendering and automated building of modeling, how we look at edge AI to industrially look at manufacturing things that are about to break and resolve that before they break. So some really like fundamental things that support the infrastructure that we all rely on day to day, that we know will become even more critical in the future world as things speed up and are more AI driven. So again, much more foundational this time, but super important with a massive impact potential for the future as well. So again, join me in welcoming our deep tech and AI infrastructure pitches.
From robotics and autonomous vehicles to climate modeling and medical discovery, next-gen AI applications require a direct training on massive volumetric 3D datasets to capture and understand real-world physics. But spatial and physical AI is not compute-bound. It's data-bound, and without a breakthrough in how we process and stream this data, progress will choke on cost, bandwidth, and time. Spatial computing stalls when I/O bandwidth cannot feed GPUs fast enough, creating the data gravity problem that slows innovation despite huge amount of compute. Zebra AI compresses massive 3D datasets to only 3% of the original file size, cutting storage, transfer, and infrastructure cost while also removing the data streaming bottleneck. Our instant decompression keeps GPUs fat, enabling both vertical applications and horizontal scaling across diverse AI models to train faster and much more efficiently. This transforms 3D data from a major constraint into a scalable foundation for next generation spatial and physical AI applications and multi-domain AI infrastructure. So, in simple terms, we built a set of compression native codecs, similar to what JPEG built for digital photography, we built for 3D. Moving forward, we are evolving into end-to-end platform for data orchestration, management, and deployment, positioning us close to the data bricks, but only for 3D volumetric data play. We originally validated the technological core in media entertainment, solving the data processing bottlenecks for companies including DNEG, Sony, and Valve. Now, we are at over 500K in annual recurring revenue and active pilots in physical AI space, including PhysicsX and Keyword. And we also highly recognized by the ecosystem. We are part of NVIDIA Inception, A16Z Speedrun alumni, and Google for Startups grant recipient. To build all this, we have the right team with a unique combination of codecs, machine learning, and physics programming experience. If you see the value in what we're building, please. Thank you.
I was working on a lunar mission. One team ran their simulations using a spreadsheet that they received over email. And 1 week later, we found out that that spreadsheet was an old version. That's 1 week lost on a lunar mission because of a wrong email.
And for those of you wondering, yes, space missions are designed using spreadsheets because there's nothing else in the market that engineers will actually use. I'm Sergi, CEO of Systellar, and that's Alex, our CTO. You can find him over there. We're both space engineers, and this story is not exceptional. 25% of the engineering time is lost like this. We confirmed this across more than 100 interviews across the industry. In a team of 10, that's 2 engineers not designing, just keeping information aligned. And engineers feel it every day. You know, a highlight of the week is when a 1-hour meeting ends in 45 minutes, because that gives you 15 minutes to actually engineer something. Software solved this years ago, but complex hardware never did. Synapse is our solution. Synapse is a software platform that connects the team's work into one live system. So when something changes, everyone knows. And it does so by adapting to the way engineers work and not the other way around. 3 satellite manufacturers are using it today. 4 more pilots are in discussion. We raised 300K backed by Techstars and the European Space Agency. We launched commercially this year, and by this time next year, Synapse will be live across 5,000 engineering desks. That versioning I told you, it happens every day in space, in defense, and in every domain where we build complex systems. So we're opening a funding round to build the AI layer on top of Synapse and help engineers build hardware at the speed of software. Thank you.
Critical infrastructure runs the world, yet operators are flying blind. For example, if you look at telecoms, energy expenditure is outpacing sales growth by 50%. Therefore, operators urgently need a radical new approach to infrastructure management, not just to survive, but to thrive. I'm Paul, I'm co-founder of NetAI, and we built some cutting-edge AI that delivers real-time actionable insights across telecoms, energy grids, and much more. We ensure that operators can achieve over 60% energy savings without disrupting service quality. For a player like Virgin Media O2, that means 40 million pounds saved annually. And to remove data sharing barriers, which are characteristic to critical sectors, we developed a one-of-its-kind synthetic data generation engine backed by ARIA. So far, we secured over £1 million in private investment and another 1.5 million in non-dilutive grants. We've been recognized as a visionary AI company, and we established partnerships with the likes of Ericsson and Red Hat. We built a technology mode with multiple patents and completed several pilots. Right now, our revenue sits at $500,000, and we aim to grab a share of the global market for AI networking that's about $10 billion. Our team has over 60 years of sector experience with hardcore PhDs complemented by seasoned business advisors. Mark exited already a couple of companies in this space. Our unique expertise gives us the edge because we know AI, we know telecoms, that enabled us to challenge widely held perceptions about the risk and cost of AI-driven forecasting. Therefore, our technology is 100x more scalable. We can guarantee 95% prediction accuracy, and we give that confidence that you can switch off infrastructure without harming revenue. Thanks for your time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Prateek, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of HairsML. You see, every asset owner has the same nightmare, this $1.5 trillion problem called downtime. It starts off as something imperceptible, moves on to something slightly more subtle, until all of a sudden you have catastrophic failure and you're losing money. Current practices do exist, but they're all sort of broken because you're either taking really good care of your assets, this requires proactive monitoring, and not all failures can be prevented, or You use the IoT devices, which is the cloud AI approach. But this requires 24/7 internet connectivity and a really high bandwidth to transmit, and it's not secure. But I want to be clear, the root cause is not a lack of data. It's the lack of the right data. Because you see, machines don't just break, they sort of whisper first. And we at AirsML are forcing the industry to go from some really low sampling frequencies to some really high sampling frequencies. But as soon as you do that, the data math breaks because it's just too much data for you to send to a cloud platform. That's where we build these smartwatch-like devices that can sit right next to assets and can help you detect things weeks earlier in advance. They make decisions at sub-millisecond latency. You can deploy them anywhere. There's no internet connectivity needed because the AI models are completely local. And what's most important is that they learn without failure. We've already proven this in the real world across multiple assets. But what's most important is that we train only on normal asset behavior because these are very expensive machines. In terms of traction, we're currently doing a pilot with John Deere, 2 others with manufacturing floors, and 3 others with a train, EV charging company, and motor drive systems. And we've been recognized for our efforts on global forums. We have the right team for the task with a PhD in Edge AI, sensors, and circuit design. I'm an ex-Qualcomm senior engineer. If you have ever used a Bose headphone or a Jabra earbud, you've probably used something that I've worked on. Yeah, we're currently raising £3 million. And so if you're interested, please come and talk to us. Thank you.
I'm Max, and we are building the product intelligence and syndication layer for agentic commerce. I spent 6 years at Amazon, and my co-founder is a PhD and postdoc in AI. We're in multi-millions in revenue. We're working with 9 of the largest 30 CPGs, including Mars, Unilever, P&G. So what's the opportunity that agentic commerce is bringing to our customers? On one day alone last year, Black Friday, AI chatbots and agents drove 14 billion in revenue, with 40% of Amazon shoppers using Rufus. Rufus, as Andy Jassy said, is driving 12 billion in incremental sales, and customers who use it is 60% more likely to purchase. On Walmart, 50% of shoppers have used Walmart Sparky, and those who use it place orders 50% larger. And Tesco's just launched one, so we're going to see this very soon in the UK as well. And of course, we all know ChatGPT. 1 in 4 prompts in ChatGPT is relevant for brands. So what challenges did this bring? As AI adoption increases, the shelf shrinks. Today, there's always been about 200 to 500 items on a shelf. When I was at Amazon, we'd have about 50 on page 1. There's about 5 recommended by an AI shopping assistant, and soon we're all going to have AI agents that we trust intimately to make the purchasing decision for us, and only 1 will be there. Rather than static detail pages, agents provide a generative experience, super and hyper-personalized. And lastly, AI agents don't just take product data from a fixed set of syndication points, they take it across the open web. They take it from reviews, they take it from editorial content, they take it from the brand's own websites. And that's a solution that we're solving at Azoma. We're building the core of our product is the Agentic Merchant Protocol, which helps the brands understand what actions they should take and the ROI to take them. We've got some super happy customers, as you can see here, raising $8 million USD. And come join us. We're hiring, we're fundraising, and obviously we're looking for brands as well. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations to those last pitches. I think, as you'd agree, some pretty foundational, fundamental things there that will really drive and improve the future AI economy. So we're now moving on to another topic now. So clean tech and sustainability. Again, actually, my brother-in-law sold a waste-to-energy business a few years ago that he started up. So another sector that I feel like I have a little bit of a vested interest in. So what we're going to hear this time about is 3 companies looking at different stages. One company looking at how we capture carbon and how we can look at small holdings to improve that. Another looking at how we can improve the energy conversion process and how we can create more clean energy. And at the final end of it, another company looking at how we can clean up pollutants in a natural and organic way to improve the health and lifestyle or health and well-being of the planet. So again, very, very important topics and super excited to hear these pitches. So please join me in welcoming on the clean tech and sustainability pitches. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Catherine, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bloom Bio. We are a biotech company based in Berkeley, California, and Sydney, Australia, and we make microbial products used to clean up environmental pollution. Our customers come from multiple sectors, including oil, mining, wastewater, and defense. So I have been an environmental scientist for nearly 2 decades, and about 10 years ago, I became firmly convinced that pollution was one of the greatest challenges we face today, and I wanted to be a part of the solution. Whether it's a mine in South America, a refinery in California, or a data center in Virginia, all of these sites have one thing in common. They release toxic chemicals into the environment, and these chemicals end up in our air, our water, and our food. This is a massive problem matched by an equally large market, valued at 140 billion today and over 300 billion by 2035. Our customers want to be a part of the solution, and stricter regulations are forcing them to act. If they don't, they face millions of dollars in fines and billions of dollars in lawsuits, but they don't have the tools to do the job. That's where we come in. Our microbial products quickly and effectively clean up contaminated soil and water. They rely on the power of microbial enzymes, and we've developed 3 product lines to date, including targeting petroleum, PFAS, and PCBs. These products are backed by patents and supported by white papers. In addition, we validated these products in more than 30 pilots globally. So how well do these products work? At a landfill in France, we remove more than 90% of PFAS from their soil in 30 days. At an airport in California, we remove more than 99% of PFAS from their groundwater in 24 hours. At Bloom Bio, we believe in a better tomorrow and that doing good can be profitable. Reach out if you have questions about our products or are interested in investing. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Celia Francis, CEO and co-founder of Pontera. Pontera builds large tropical forests for profit. Indeed, last year we earned $3 million, and this year we'll earn $6 million in revenue. And we're on track for $100 million in contracted revenue from carbon, agroforestry, and water. We are incredibly passionate about what we do, because if we could restore 300 billion trees around the equator in tropical forests, we could cool the planet by 1 degree and give us about 500 years. So this technology that is called a tropical forest is well understood. What's been missing is a business model to restore nature at scale, but not anymore. Only 14 months after starting the company 3 years ago, we closed one of the largest nature-based carbon removal deals to date with Microsoft and private equity firm TPG to restore 100 hectares of degraded cattle pasture to tropical forest. In our first year of field operations alone, we restored over 1 million trees of 120 native tree species. And then last year, we closed 2 further financial transactions to start to build tropical forests in Mexico, where we will restore 100,000 hectares and 6 critical water basins. And of course, in Panama and Mexico also give new large spaces for some of the remaining wild animals and plants on our planet to thrive. I'm a 3-time tech CEO, so everything we do is data layered, from where we gather our mother tree seeds all the way through to the verified and audited results on the ground. We would love you to join us in our mission to restore 100 million hectares back to tropical forest for profit and give your children and you a chance for a beautiful future.
Right now, every country needs more energy, even better, more renewable energy. Every government wants energy security while still achieving net zero. And the infrastructure to deliver it, it already exists. Tens of thousands of biogas plants across the world, but currently running under their full potential. These plants are not broken. They're just not being given what they need. And that gap is costing our planet and our energy security. Raft Energy has the solution. We are like Red Bull for the biogas. Our biochar catalysts turbocharge plant output, open new waste streams, and dramatically improve efficiency, giving operators more revenue, more renewable gas, and for us, a cleaner planet. And not someday, but right now. And the market's taking notice. We have 500K in projected revenue, growing 22% month on month. We've raised 1.5 million pounds to date, and we're working with the leading customers in the UK and the EU. And what makes us unbeatable? Our products are 10 times better than our competitors, and they're patented. With our bespoke modular production process, we can scale this globally fast. Within our founding team, we have 9 successful exits, extensive experience in biochar and renewable energy, and we are empowering the biogas industry to replace 50% of the global LNG demand within the next 10 years, offsetting 563 million tons every single year. Net zero is not a distant dream. It's a waste management problem, and we're solving it. Thank you.
Again, thank you very much for those last pitches. So bringing us home for the last pitches of this this competition today is EdTech and consumer lifestyle. Again, I feel like I'm giving you my life story throughout this. There's like little snippets of it. So I also have 3 kids and a dog. I'm one of my 17-year-olds doing A-levels, my 15-year-old doing his GCSEs, and the 13-year-old is rapidly catching up. So the fact we're going to talk here pictures around how we use AI to help students create proper content, proper studies, proper revision of things, but also an app or a solution that's going to help me, and I'm sure everyone else here, organize our family lives and the complexity of 3 kids, a dog, parents in different locations, family in other countries. I'm very much excited about, and I think it's a really nice human way to close the pitches today. So again, join me please in welcoming our EdTech and consumer lifestyle pitches.
America's college students, 20 million college students in USA will drop out. They struggle to combine their work with something like 200 assignments that they have to write over 4 years. ChatGPT is an obvious solution, right? Well, wrong. MIT study proves that students that ask ChatGPT to write their papers for them see a 55% drop in their brain connectivity. So generic AI does not make students better thinkers, it hollows them out. I'm Alex, I'm the founder of Litero, and we want to fix that. Litero is AI writing platform for students that keep student in the driver's seat. Litero instantly suggests most relevant academic sources, but only student choose which one to use. Litero can give you ideas, but student is responsible for developing them into a full essay. Our AI tutor gives you the grade you're probably going to get so that you can improve and make it a better paper. We provide the whole workflow to make students write better, not just faster. And it works. We're growing 20% month on month since the beginning of this year. We're about to hit 1.5 million ARR with 85% gross margin. It's a 5 billion global market already. And in US alone, Google search volume has risen 170% over this year. And Litero is well positioned to scale rapidly and make the most out of it, first in the US and then globally. Together with my CTO, I've already built a previous profitable ad tech company, and we bootstrapped it to 8-figure revenue. And we're going to do that again, just at much, much larger scale with Litero. Join us. Thank you.
I promise I'm the last one, so you can go home. When was the last time you forgot to buy something at the store? Like milk, for example. And who in your family knows exactly where the passports are? And who's picking up the kids today? Well, that is exactly how it is to run a family. Because running a family is actually like a full-time job. And millions of parents out there managing family life through 5 to 10 different disconnected apps. Take Life360, for example. They built $1 billion company on GPS tracking alone. And that's just one piece. No one is serving the entire life cycle. So we decided to build that. My name is Ida Stjernström, and my brother and I, we built FunNest. FunNest brings everything together into one place. So finances, health, schedules, documents, anything your family needs. And it's all assisted by Mary, your family's AI assistant. You can ask her anything, like, when is the car due for the next service? Or create a meal plan based on everyone's allergies. Or how much money are we spending on subscriptions each month? You can ask her anything. We launched 3 months ago, and our users have already created more than 40,000 calendar events. We have 5 stars on App Store, and the average engagement time is 22 minutes and 33 seconds. So people are not just signing up, they're putting in real data, and they are coming back. But our biggest product market fit indicator is actually that more than 60% of our users put FunNest on their home screen. Think of that. We're actually sitting next to Instagram and WhatsApp. So download FunNest today and start organizing your family life.
Okay, again, congratulations to last pitches. And actually, as we said, that brings us to the last pitches of the competition today. So again, please join me in giving a big congratulations, a big round of applause to all the pitches throughout the day today. So at this stage of the proceedings, I would ask our judges to go to their deliberation room. So if they wouldn't mind exiting and going to deliberate for the next part of the session. And once they have deliberated, whatever the plural term of deliberating is. Thank you, judges. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage Samuel again, and Manuel and Sam from Granola for our fireside chat.
Before we even start, Sam, can I use Granola for this conversation?
I'd be offended if you didn't.
And I will tell you why. So I will put it down here. And allow me, before I even introduce Sam, to preface my conversation with an anecdote. So in February 26, so about 2 months ago, a colleague of mine went to a breakfast event to see Sarah Fryer, the CFO of OpenAI. So by all standards, she is a person that is worth listening to and that I definitely wanted to remember the conversation of. So I called my friend today, this morning, and I said, okay, let's talk about Sarah. What do we remember? So we said, he said, she had some really great anecdotes. I said, which ones? He said, no, they're really good, really funny. I'm like, so tell me an example. He couldn't remember, right? And then we remembered something, but, and this is an amazing meeting. I was looking forward to meeting Sarah Fryers, and, we couldn't remember much. So we took Granola. Luckily, I had recorded on Granola, and we looked through it, and we realized, my God, not only did we forget big chunks of that conversation, but we also inserted our own beliefs. So my friend and I were saying, and we talked about that. No, we didn't. So not only is it that you forget things, but you also insert things. So history, as we are developing it, is debased, right? So this is why I wanted this to be recorded, so that we cannot debase ourselves. And in a year from now, when we meet, we cannot say we talked about this and we didn't, right? So with this, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the co-founder of Granola, Sam. And on that note, let us start by being back in the present. So in the room, you have a lot of founders. Some of them, about 48 of them, have pitched. And their hearts are probably shaking because some people are deliberating downstairs, right? And by the way, they make 50K if they win, right? Were you in a situation like that in the past? And Granola was started 3 years ago. How is life now versus how was it 3 years ago when you were probably in their shoes?
It's very different. I think, now I would I've never done this before. And so my life now is trying to learn as fast as I can how to deal with making a group of people move in the right direction. And we're capable of a lot more now, but I have to be leveling myself up all the time to keep up with the pace of the team growing and all of the new challenges that come at us. So my job is extremely different. When we started Granola, I was a designer before doing this, and I'd kind of quit my job and was just tinkering, building stuff for myself, not with any real goals other than just to have fun and to try building stuff. And initially working on Granola was just a continuation of that. It was myself and my co-founder tinkering with things and building something, trying it ourselves, see if we liked it, putting it in front of some friends, see if they liked it. And yeah, the first few months at least it was a couple of us in a room just hacking away at things. And yeah, life is different now.
So describe a little bit. We're very fortunate to have a designer, right, on the stage. Many CFOs or maybe many CEOs, co-founders are not design people. They might be management people, they might be other people, but they're not necessarily designers. So can you describe, because not everybody knows Granola very well, describe to me the product as you intended it. Maybe we see it differently because everybody uses it a bit differently. I'll come to that.
Yeah, so I think the easiest analogy is Granola looks and feels a lot like a regular note-taking app that you might be used to, like Apple Notes or OneNote or something like that. It's you open a meeting and there's a blank sheet of paper for you to write stuff. But the difference is that it's intelligent, and behind the scenes, while you're in a meeting, it's transcribing what's happening in the conversation. And the idea is basically, you should still feel free to write whatever you think is most important, like your reactions to what's happening, your thoughts, your criticisms. But you can kind of relax about having to write down every little detail because the AI is listening in the background. And at the end of the meeting, Granola basically takes whatever you wrote as guidance and then fleshes it out into a much more full set of notes. Yeah, and that's kind of what the product looks and feels like on the face of it today. But I think it's not really what we got into the business of doing. I think what really excited us was at the time 3 years ago, I think ChatGPT, I think we started hacking a month before ChatGPT came out. So it was very early in the LLM game, I guess, or the consumerization of LLMs. we were just really excited about this technology, which felt game changing, but also felt like nobody had figured out the interface, or like how are ordinary people that don't have a computer science degree going to interact with this and get utility out of it. And we were kind of, when we started out, we were really just looking for what's our angle on this, so that we can get to play with this all day long and make software that we love to use and that people like us love to use.
Great. Can I see a show of hands? Who knows granola or uses granola?
Nice.
Okay,
amazing.
So let's say about half, right? So yesterday we were at Airwallex and I had a conversation with some of you guys, and I tried to prepare for today and to see, it was about half, right? And Sam and I had a conversation outside, and I was wondering, is this good? Is this bad, right? I mean, let's preface this. Granola just raised 125 million. It has now a valuation of 1.5 billion, right? So it is a unicorn. It has made it, right? So it is, in a way, normal that about half of the people don't use granola or might not even know granola. So we started talking about this idea of all or nothing, right? I think it's important for entrepreneurs to understand that this aspiration of, oh, I have to capture the whole market, this is the TAM, and if I can, and I want to get it all, is probably misguided. How do you feel about this, right?
Yeah, I fall into this trap all the time myself too. Like, always have and still do. Like, the technology, like as an industry, and like the press and Twitter and LinkedIn and investors all love talking about things in extremes, right? Of like, this thing's going to take over everything, and if you don't win everything, then you're doomed. And like, I think I don't think it's I don't think it's very true, and two, I don't think it's a very helpful way to think and like be building from the get-go. Like, I don't know, like when we were starting, like we had a lot of every investor we spoke to was like the first question we get was like, so you're building a note-taking thing, like when are you gonna verticalize? Because you need to like capture, if you don't pick a lane and like try and capture that whole market, like healthcare or teaching or whatever, then are you gonna make it? And we kind of resisted that. I don't know, just because we didn't like the sound of verticalizing, really, not for any like particularly logical reason. But I think like so we're building a horizontal tool, and that could be used by many, many kinds of people. And I do think, I certainly hope that everyone in the world at some point will use granola, but it's probably unlikely. Like, I think it's going to be there are going to be a few different winners in this space, and that's okay. Like, it's inevitable, I think. So yeah.
And coming back to the design of granola, you really put simplicity forward. I think that I see in my client set a few clients that are really looking at simplicity. So the mission is clear, and that also helps the organization. So two questions for you. One is, how should the entrepreneurs and the founders in this room think about simplicity versus the super app that does everything, right? You're building the next Grab, you're building the next Revolut. And on the other hand, how does this principle permeate the culture? And we will talk more about the culture right after.
Yeah. I think like, with granola, we're building a tool that we want you to use every day, habitually, like 5, 6, 7 times a day, whatever. And what are the other things that you use in your life that do that? It's like chairs, or like pens, or a desk, or I don't know, and like so many of those objects that you depend on day in, day out, they're actually surprisingly simple, and they're not trying to be everything, but they're like very good at their job that they do, and they work in harmony with other things. And I think we always thought of ourselves as we're building, something a bit like a pen, but for people on their computers, and simplicity and the fact that you can pick it up and use it with any kind of situation that you want to is the whole game for us. I guess that's the like heady philosophical angle on what we're doing. I also think there's an extremely pragmatic reason for the simplicity, which is at the beginning we were 2, then 3 people in a room, and you can't do very much as 2 or 3 people. Like you can do more now that it's faster to write code and stuff, but still, I think it's just remarkably hard to make anything work in the world. And like if we had tried to do, I think, anything more than just make really good notes after meetings, we would have spread ourselves too thin and failed. And yeah, so I think I credit my co-founder Chris with a lot of this. He's like incredibly good at making sure we're like just focusing on doing the first thing like incredibly well. But I think, yeah, we've just got so much out of that, of trying to do less, but do it like, but not stopping until the thing we've made is so useful that people want to use it for every one of their meetings, day in, day out.
Yeah, no, we were discussing outside with Cecilia from Journal Catalyst, right? And she was saying that granola has taste. And well, it's a bit of a pun because there's also the granola, but not that. And I think that's very powerful, right? To think about an app having taste. And we see actually in our work, many companies emerging now to identify things that humans define as taste, as pleasant, right? Not the computer. So in a way, gaining again agency over the decision making. And in a way, you are doing that. You're not letting the AI decide over, like, you don't go to Lovable to describe you, right? You're doing it yourself. And I think that is profoundly your mark on the business. And is it also your mark on the team? I don't know. Is it?
As in?
Meaning?
Yes, similar.
Granola has a clear mission and a clear design. I wonder whether the team is behind you. I mean, you say that 3 years ago you were three folks, right? So how many are you now?
60 now. Yeah,
60. So if you ask one of the 60 folks there, what defines granola? Do they breathe already this simplicity and the mission of granola, or do they think, oh, I'm here because maybe we're gonna build the next Grab, or I'm here just because there's a table tennis? I don't know. Like, how do you create a culture that reflects your mission?
Yeah, it's a good question. I feel like at every stage the team grows, we have to reassess: are we actually doing this or not, and start doing new things to keep it. But I think like building a simple, beautiful, easy to use product is the thing we have done and need to continue being good at. And if we stop being good at that, then I think we're dead. And so it's like incredibly important that we do that. And you only have so many like levers you can pull to make that happen as you grow. Like, I think the first one is like being very careful and selective about who you let in and whether the people feel compatible with your culture. So like, for example, every engineer that joins Granola is not just assessed on technical ability, but also assessed on like, can they empathize with a user that has a problem, and can they be open-minded and kind of take input from others on the team about what a good experience would be. Like, we kind of expect every engineer to be a little bit of a designer themselves, you know, because that's just like, that's what gives us our edge, is caring about the experience of the product more than anyone else. Yeah, and then like, I guess at the beginning when we're small, I think like on the tasting in general, like people use the word taste a lot, you know, these days, and like I think for me what it really is it's like, do you have judgment that matches like what people would want, or what they would expect or like, or something? Like, for example, like I went to graphic design school, and a lot of what they teach you there is like how to make stuff that looks professional, which is like how to conform to the tastes of what we all collectively agree good graphic designers, you know, like grids and fonts and things like that. And so it's like, can you understand what people expect or desire, and then can you build something to match it? And so like, I think then like the game for us now is like, how do we up-level everyone in the team and make sure that everyone in the team kind of has this shared sense of taste of like, of do we care about the right things? Do we all agree on what's going to be beautiful and useful for people? And there, I think the most high leverage thing we can do is like make sure that everyone on the team is exposed to real users a lot. Like everyone should be on calls with users, should be meeting users in person, sitting with them and understanding like how they take notes, how they do meetings, what are they, like if they have to remember the things they need to do after the meeting, how do they do that? Like everyone needs to have this like anthropological curiosity, you know, about how people are using this thing. Because I think that's how you feed taste. You like build a sense of what people care about and then you can go and express that in the things that you make. And yeah.
Thank you. And continuing the idea of the team and of the culture that you are creating, this must feel like a blink of an eye, because again, 3 years is not that long. How do you feel? Because that probably is reflected also in how the entrepreneurs feel in the room, between your sense of self-identity versus part of the team. Because there's a bit of a, not contradiction, but you need to, on one hand, lead, and you know you will have to let go of the people that don't conform to your expectations. They're probably not underperformers in a general sense, but they might be underperforming in what your expectation is, versus being one of them. And how is this dynamic? Because I think this dynamic is going to be pretty relevant to many of the people in this room.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Like I've never led a team of anyone doing anything, I think, before Granola. So I think I've been kind of slow to like realize the influence or like just the position, the reality of the position I have now in the company. Yeah, I mean, when you're small, like you're all pretty much just a bunch of people in a room who really care about a thing, trying to like make it happen. And that, like, I think your like influence and your position within the team is really just measured by like how much you care and how much you put into it. I mean, my goal, I think, is just to try and keep that feeling as much as we can. Like I really want it to feel like there are very few differences on the team between people, and that really like what we're very fortunate to be a small group of people building an incredibly like a widely used and influential thing. And so like the best thing that anyone could do for their career right now is to make Granola better. It's not individual making themselves better for the individual or something. And I really think that feeling of togetherness is like what makes being in a startup special, and we should like cover that. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like what we're trying to create. I guess a personal thing I've had to get used to or like grapple with is like in some ways we're not equals as well, on the team, and like my decisions and the things I say have power, and it's a weird thing to wield like at first. Yeah, and I think I don't know, I think the job for me is to like, we have really smart people, and so like a lot of the time my job is to get out of the way and let them make great decisions, and then to like insert myself and use my words in only the places where like I can really add something, which I think is, for me, is a lot of like, what's the product experience that we're creating? Is it good enough? Trying to like hold the bar there. And then it's like creating the culture, which is mostly just like, who do we hire, and what qualities of people do we look for and who we hire?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if I may speak to the entrepreneurs, right? As JP Morgan, right? In my team, we deal with 100 clients, right? And we see this all the time because we work with clients who are Series A all the way to post IPO, right? So you can see along the way, because maybe 7-10 years ago, the guys who are now barely pre-IPO or post-IPO, they have matured in a way. I mean, maybe it's also a bad thing, because some of the ingenuity that brings 60 people together, maybe 60 is already a lot, right? But maybe brings 30 people together, is a bit lost when you have a company of 3,000 people, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you cannot. It's just too much of an energy drain to be as intimate with everybody in the company as you were with three founders or whatever. And it's a natural progression. I think that it cannot be easy. We see it and we feel that, you know, there's a lot of energy transfer at the level of a C-suite, which probably is important for the founders as they are thinking about the future, right? Now, let's talk about competition. One of the edicts is, well, Google can do what you do, right? So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, this is like always, I think this has always been the number one thing that anyone asks, especially investors, like getting the competition question right was like, I mean, it's been the hardest thing at like every round of funding, I think, you know, talking to investors. So when we started Granola, there were already a lot of AI meeting note taker things out there. And we kind of also, you know, I think once we started getting into it, we realized how powerful it could, like, transcribing meetings could be. I think we kind of convinced ourselves that everyone else is going to come onto this, and soon, and you know, at some point, like the OpenAIs and the Anthropics and Googles are going to all do this too. So we have to feel good about ourselves still existing in that world and continuing to do well. And yeah, I mean, at the beginning, the thing that gave us hope and kind of convinced us that we could have a stab at this was, I remember we did a lot of talking to, like, user interviews, talking to potential users right at the very beginning, and we would specifically look for people who use these other meeting note takers and try and talk to them about it. And a thing we just heard again and again was like, oh yeah, I signed up to one of those meeting bot things a month ago, and I guess it shows up to my meetings, but then you ask them, do you use it? Do you like it? And they're like, oh no, I haven't looked in there in like a month. And then you ask them, so what do you do in meetings? And they're like, oh, I have my piece of paper. I write stuff on my piece of paper during the meeting. And it was just like I remember one person holding up their piece of paper, you know, like it's kind of sit in my brain, and to me that was like evidence enough that these things were failing. They weren't doing their job. You know, if someone still has to have another thing on the side to capture the stuff they actually care about, then they're not working. And you know, it felt like there's obviously huge power in transcribing meetings, but like no one's figured out how to make that like compatible with humans and what humans want out of meetings at the same time. And I think that convinced us that we could have squeeze our way in and have a shot at this. I guess the other angle on the competition question is like, what about all the big players out there? You know, the Googles and Anthropics and OpenAIs and stuff. And I feel like it's the game for every startup these days. It's like justify your existence against the potential speculative, like what about, you know, what's GPT-10 going to do, or what is like Claude 6 going to do or something. And honestly, I don't like. Part of my answer always there is like I have no clue. Well, like what's going to happen in the future, and no one can really judge that. And in the world where like we have true AGI, whatever that means, and Granola is no longer relevant, then at least I'll have had more fun working on Granola in the meantime up until then. But I do think like we're as an industry, we're like so, as I was saying before, like we're so every new thing comes along and we think it's going to just completely change everything and become like, and just eradicate everything that came before. And obviously AI is a big deal and it's changing a lot, but I think you have to believe if I would hope that everyone here in this room building a startup believes that there is space for like startups in the world. And I think the edge that we have is we can be a small group of people that can move very quickly and that can care about a very particular problem more than anybody else in the world. A thing I really like to keep in my head as like competitors launch things is like you might be like 5 people building your company, and then this big scary company goes and launches a competitor. But reality is like big scary company like what's an example? Like Google has like a Gemini note taker thing. Google is obviously many thousands of people, but it's probably actually a pretty small team working on the Gemini note taker thing inside of Google. It's like, I don't know, between like 10 to 100 people or something. And Google's big and slow and inefficient. And there are 100 people who can probably do a lot less than 20 people in a startup who really care. So, you're not competing with a huge behemoth, you're competing with a small team inside of that behemoth. And so there the odds feel much more even, and like I think you have a shot basically.
Yeah. And for me personally, this uncertainty, right, to the question, how do you deal with the behemoth, is actually, you are resolving that uncertainty. The fact that you raised 125 million, 2 months ago, this is a good data point on the trajectory that yes, you can. It's not, the uncertainty gets resolved through your proof in a way. And maybe it is because it's only the 100 people at Google who are a bit more inefficient, or maybe it is the fact that, you know, everybody could do kind of anything, but nobody does everything. You outsource things, right? So probably Google is worried about Waymo and about God knows what else, right? And those are the strategic priorities, because by this logic, you know, these 4 or 5 companies should be doing everything from taxation to transcripts to, you know, and they don't. I mean, it's just human nature to not dilute yourself too much, right? I mean, Google had this problem even when you talk to the employees and so on, that, you know, we're doing too many things. I mean, they cannot really wrap their head around that anymore, right? They're doing some things wonderfully, but that doesn't mean that they have to do everything by the tokens, right? So this should probably make the entrepreneurs also feel that, you know, if you have an idea, I mean, don't have something that's like core to Anthropic, right? Don't do exactly what Anthropic does, right? But anything else, I think it's fair game, right? And the recent history has shown it is fair game.
Yeah, yeah. I will say, like, it's very easy to post-rationalize all of this and talk about how we have you know, how we're going to make it in a logical way, but it keeps me up at night for sure.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. I have some more questions, but I want to open it to the public as well. Yes, please. Do we have microphones, by the way, my JP Morgan colleagues?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing your the experience. I'm very excited to hear your story, especially because you have the design, probably development like I do, which is a very, very weird place to be. So curious, I'm having this problem now, which I think probably you might have experienced. You know, assume when you were building, you were trying to build the Apple thing, which is like build it, make it look like magic, right? Because it's design here. The question is, where do you start to do that push and pull? Because sometimes it puts me in a position whereby I'm having to do one thing so well, but obviously I want to make it very design and obviously make it. Where do you create that balance between the push and pull of, I just need to get it out so people use it, or like, oh, I need to beautify it just a little bit because your design part of you is really pulling, like, I want this to feel truly magical. And how did you balance that to get to where you are? And how can us starting people understand where that balance lies and how we can manage it?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's like the question, I think, of designing a product from scratch. Like, I think the thing I always try and keep in mind, and is like hard and get it wrong often, is when you're trying to figure out a thing from scratch, like you have, building Granola took like 18 months, you know, of like a couple of engineers' time, like coding away to make it all work. So it's like a big thing to make. And so at the I don't know, like at the beginning, I think we had to be like so kind of surgical and precise about like what problems are we trying to solve or like de-risk at any given moment. Like very first version of Granola was like we just like on a screen like transcribe the microphone of your laptop, and you could like write a sentence and then hit tab, and Granola would like write out a little note for you in real time, and that was it. Like you no database, no sign-in, no memory. It wasn't a real working app. But like I guess the hypothesis we had at the time was like, would it feel good to like have an AI with you in the meeting that was understanding what you were talking about, and that could like kind of help finish your sentences, you know, just interpret what you were saying and take some of the pressure off you having to verbatim write down everything that someone said. And so the first version of Granola was just all built to like prove or disprove that hypothesis. it was pig ugly. It like didn't work. You couldn't save any of your notes. Like we cut corners like all over the place just to get that thing working. And because of that, we could build that in like a day and then give it to some people and watch them use it and see how they found it. And kind of like the first year for us was just doing this again and again. It was like, all right, now we've kind of feel good about that hypothesis. What's the next thing we need to like prove or disprove? And we would try and design or build only the minimum possible to get to the experience where we could prove or disprove that hypothesis. Yeah, and what that meant was like 9 months in to Granola, when of us like trying to figure out what it would look like. It was like an airplane cockpit. There were so many buttons and random things we tried here and there, and it was really ugly. And you had to like, every person that we brought onto it, you had to like teach them how to use it because it was so complicated. But we kind of deliberately were ignoring all of the problems of like, how do you make this easy to understand or beautiful? Because we knew we could figure those out. Like the main thing we needed to figure out was like, what is an experience that feels natural, where you can like take notes and then have an AI make those better in a way that's compatible with humans. And until we felt good about that problem, we punted making the thing pretty or making it easy to understand or making it stable or reliable or any of that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good question. Yes, please.
Hi, my name's Lawrence. I'm building something that gamifies the process of learning maths for GCSE students in primary school. I am in an early stage kind of position. We've got 5 people. We're a small team. I'm interested for you personally. Obviously, now you've got a 60-person team, and you said that you've had to grow as a leader to manage that. What are some of your problems, or what is a problem that you've had in regards to meetings? So obviously, we have director meetings, and then if you have teams or employees under you, you can have meetings with them too. I think I struggle with, cool, like meetings are good, but then it's away from building, it's away from doing the thing. What's a problem you've encountered with that, and something that you've kind of come to realize in that journey of scaling up? I just want to learn from one of your lessons.
Yeah, good question. I think we've tried lots and lots of different ways of structures of what meetings should we have on the calendar, what are the rituals we want to like keep moving work forward. And like I feel like we have to reinvent that every few months as the team gets bigger at the moment. There are a few things I think that we've gained a lot of confidence in that we try and do every time. The first is like, anytime we kick off any new project, we do a kickoff meeting where like everybody who's likely to be involved in it in any way gets in the same room, and we agree on the why are we doing this? What are we going after? Why are we doing it? What's the goal here? What's the like job to be done that we're solving for the user? So it might be like the job to be done for a user might be like, as a salesperson, I want to be able to make sure my notes are in the CRM without me thinking about it after a meeting. And we need to like collectively agree on a sentence like that. Because like a lot of the disarray that's been caused by having a large group of people working together for us has been when folks aren't aligned on the overall goal of what we're trying to achieve. And so, I don't know, I found like upfront doing a lot of coordination, talking together pays a lot of dividends down the road, and like lets us do less meetings afterwards. But and that's probably the most high impact one of all of them. But, yeah. Yes, please. Okay. I think we have a microphone coming.
Greatest concerns is with AI, everyone's building AI businesses, but there's no human connection, because a lot of people step out of uni or step out of their bedroom, or may not step out of the bedroom, and are missing any form of human connection. So they can't really solve a problem and find the solution ethically if they don't step out.
Like they're not exposed to the real world enough?
Yeah, because you know, someone's sitting in their bedroom creating a load of AI solving the world, but they themselves don't have that connections with humans. And so, you know, I mean, most of us who went through the life cycle of work and worked for small organizations and bigger or communities actually have human connection. You know, you see someone smile, you see someone cry, you know, because they're building. And with AI, we're accelerating all to these, but with no human empathy or connection.
I think I agree, and I mean, yeah, I think I agree that like if you're building a business, ultimately you should be doing it because there's a human problem, or there's a problem out in society, right, that needs solving, and like your success at doing that is going to be measured by like how well you understand that problem and the people, yeah, and the people in it, yeah. I do think we're like, this probably happens every technological wave shift, whatever. Like we're in a moment where this technology is so new and there's so much hype around it, and everybody's talking about how they're using AI for this and AI for that and blah blah blah. And like I think I would imagine that so much of that time spent on AI is really like people tinkering or playing around with stuff, or like hobby projects or things like that. And I think we're still probably in a time where there's so much energy going into trying stuff with AI and experimenting with it and pushing the boundaries, but still, you know, only some circumstances where someone's actually managed to match the AI to like a human problem in the world that where it can help solve it. And I think it's just like, it's a new thing and we're all trying to figure it out. And so like, we are probably all collectively wasting a lot of energy, like building a load of things that aren't solving problems. But I don't know. I think maybe that's like a necessary part of just of getting familiar enough with the technology to figure out how to match it to human problems. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a real thing. Yeah.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we are out of time. But I don't know, Sam, if you have the time to linger around a little bit for a glass.
Yeah, I'll be around for a bit. Yeah,
you can talk to him then. But I want to thank Sam for his contribution, and I need to ask Alice if the white smoke has come out already. So okay, great. So can I hand it over to Eric again? Okay, perfect. Well, with that, I'll hand it over to Eric, and we're waiting for the results, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Well, here we are. Thank you for the fireside chat. Thanks, Manuel. Thanks, Sam. I think that was super insightful, super interesting to hear, and just the pace and change of these things. So thank you, everyone that pitched. Again, great pitches. We came here actually with the intention of having 10 winners today. And actually, because of the quality of the pitches and the quality of the startups we saw here, we actually have 14. And so I tried really hard to not use my phone all day, but there's no way I can remember the name of 14 startups without looking at my phone. So in no particular order, when your name is called out, please come on stage, receive your check for a photo. And if you'd like to say a few words, you've got 15 to 20 seconds, but no timer. You can say a couple of words and then we'll go on to the next one, okay? Cool, right, let's do this. So, as I say, no particular order, the first one for today is Topo.
If you're interested in sales, I'm still a salesperson. Please book a demo with Topo.
And our next winner is, I feel like I did like a virtual drum roll. Carryboat.
Okay, we'll get back to them then. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay. In that case, then we'll straight on to our next winner, Boulder.
And I forgot to mention that we are racing to Series A.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Our next winner is Nemesis.
To know that I managed to convey a very technical story to a broad audience.
Here we go. Our next winner is Azuma.
Appreciate it.
Good
luck, everyone.
Short and sweet, short and sweet. Our next winner is Sillage.
Thank you, everyone. And if you're doing enterprise sales, check out our website, getch.gov.
Our next winner is Segment Stream.
I just want to thank Deel team, GP Morgan, and the rest of organizers for bringing this opportunity. So much appreciated. Thank you.
You have to open the photo, right? Thank you. And our next winner is Bamnest.
My brother says hi, but do yourself a favor and download Promise because it's gonna help you a lot. So, and thank you, JP Morgan and Deel.
And our next winner is Palmer AI.
Thank you, everybody, for being here, for listening. Also, thank you to the judges and the sponsors. And, oh my God, what a room, huh? Thank you.
And our next winner is Saul.
my God, thank you to the judges. Thank you to Alex, or maybe Alex's bot, for dealing me and getting me on Deel on Twitter a few weeks ago. Very excited to be here. And if you're traveling soon, please come and find me and download Soar. It'll be a brand new experience for you. Thank you.
Alex doesn't use bot for Twitter. He loves his Twitter.
Okay, we're getting through these. And the next winner is Zebra AI.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the opportunity. And extremely grateful to be presenting you great insight. Thank you.
And our next winner is Evolve Neuro.
Thanks, everybody. I think about 30 people managed to get onto our wait list. So search Evolve Neuro if you want to join. We'll make some more spaces for you guys. Also, we're raising, so we're halfway through a 4 million round. So get in touch. Thank you very much.
And our next winner is Stasha.
Guys. This is fantastic. Really appreciate it. If any of you are traveling this summer and want somewhere cheap to leave your bags, message me. I'll give you a discount. Thank you.
I have a photo, sorry.
Hey.
Yeah. Last one and the code.
Okay.
So the last one on my list, but it's like no particular order. So our last one on the list is Sora Technologies. It was the show.
Thank you very much, guys, for working for me, the judges. Obviously, thank you, JP Morgan, Deel, and all of you guys for supporting the event, and obviously, hopefully, Sora's vision.
Big pencil. Yeah. So we'll go. Our other one that wasn't here. So, is anyone from Caribou in the room?
Is the investment company?
No. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for coming. Really, for everyone that applied, everyone that came, that showed up, and that pitched. I know it's not an easy exercise, so thank you very much. And for the one that didn't win, I hope you still write to me and you keep me posted for next year. Special thank you to all of the judges here. Can you please come up on stage? And congratulations to everyone.
One more thing. Alice is the silent mastermind behind this whole pitch event. And we also have a huge team at Deel who've been working on this day in, day out, and being dragged in the last minute for fixes. So please join me with a huge round of applause for Alice and the rest of the Deel team. All right, and I think we